Hi, friends. Welcome in, welcome in. Hi, welcome in, Jean. We are going to talk about the Titanic, so if you guys like that movie, stay tuned, stay tuned. Yeah, this is my cat, Milo, too. Hi, Jose, we're going to talk about the Titanic. How are you, friend? Oh my gosh, you guys. I love this movie. I was really debating putting it on my children's podcast, but one, I'm poor, and I had to discontinue my children's podcast right now until I'm not poor. And I also decided the Titanic is not appropriate for children. It just really isn't. And I had no business watching the Titanic when I was 13. There was no reason. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it, you guys. This is the time. This is the time. Okay, though, it does have the best suicide prevention scene. It is my favorite one, but we will get to it. We'll get there. And there is Jack and Rose on my t-shirt, so I was like, this is the time to do it. Anyway, we'll start at the beginning, okay? I have a long list of notes. We're going to be here for 5 hours. We're going to be here for 5 hours. It's a long time. Okay, you guys? Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Maya. Okay, honeys. There's a sad mermaid song that starts in the beginning. Cut it. Okay, this movie, my biggest problem with this movie that keeps it from being a perfect movie is it is an hour too long. We need none of the present day. It's not interesting. I'm glad you have a submarine, James Cameron. I'm glad that means something to you. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? Literally nobody cares. I honestly, I blame the beginning of the Titanic, all the parts that are in the future, for the death of those billionaires that went down in a submarine, right? Never put that out there. Never put that out there that was even possible, okay? So, could have cut that. We didn't need the sad mermaid song. It's kind of like a spoiler. Like, why are we doing a cold open in a 3-hour movie, okay? That's my first one. But it kind of has like a reminiscence of a horror game when it first starts out, right? Like, what are we doing here with the Titanic? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so the sub shots, again, they're so boring, James Cameron. Cut it, all right? Cut it. Boring. There's like boots and glasses. It's literally so interesting. Everyone's falling asleep. My ex did not like this movie, my ex of 5 years, which should have been grounds to break up, but I got it because it really gave me a perspective of just how boring the first part of that movie is. Nobody cares. Get to the past. You know what I mean? That's all you had to do. You could have ended it on her going to the ship, right? We literally did not need the grandma part. Like, that's cool and all that Titanic survivors still are alive, but just like, you know, just, we're good. We don't need them at all, okay? It just takes up so much time. Like, okay, so I'm old enough that when I had the Titanic, there were 2 VHSs, right? So you had to put the first VHS in, hour and 30, right? They ran out of tape. The movie is so gosh darn long. And then you had to put in the other tape of the Titanic, right? You had to rewind it back in the day. Like, it was insane, but very, very well beloved. Yeah. I don't even know. I called this guy the Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen character, even though they were not around at the same time. Like, so I don't know what I was trying to say there. I think I meant like the captain of this ship is giving me Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen. Let me know your thoughts on that. I don't know. But I do believe, like, I could edit the past. If I could, like, manipulate anything, I would say that it could be canon that Jonah Hill and Seth Rogen were in this Titanic movie. Even though that's not true. That's not true. But it has a vibe of, like, they would be in the goofy, you know what I mean? They'd be like a goofy character either in the past or in the present, okay? Anyway, here we go. We got the underwater piano. Great shot, right? I can maybe justify that shot. That was pretty cool, right? Do we need the whole boring backstory? Again, we don't. We really don't. We just need to get to the past, you guys. I'm going fast because I want to get out of here. And then he had actual Titanic footage, which, like, is cool. But then, you know, like, I guess he didn't think, or maybe he was even behind Mr. James Cameron, of, like, the Titanic museums. I don't know if you've ever done. I survived the Titanic when I went on the ship passage, which was very fun. But it was also very sad. And honestly, a lot of the stuff that survived in that museum is boring to look at. It's not very fun to take pictures of. I mean, I guess it's cool, you know, it was on the ship, but it's just a cruise ship at the end of the day, you guys. But so you got this, like, kind of documentary aspect going on, even though it's all made up and the points don't matter at the Titanic, okay? They don't know. Anyway, You've got this like Snoop Vision label. I have no idea about submarines. I'm assuming the way James Cameron is that they are just like, oh, thank you so much. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to the diamond, how stupid the Hope Diamond is. Literally no one cares. I don't even know if that was a real thing. I have no idea. Somebody can fact check me on if the Hope Diamond is a real thing. Let me know. But anyway, there's the documentary aspect that James Cameron is putting into this film that is like, okay, it's kind of cool, right? It's like kind of interesting, but is it necessary? Yeah, $2 billion of a diamond, that's blood money. There's racism in that. Absolutely, Jose. Absolutely. You're telling. Anyway, so they have this like Snoop Vision label. I can't even imagine. You want to talk about $2 billion diamond? Talk about how much money those shots were, right? If you probably did the money that the submarine shots cost in the 90s, what they are now, probably exactly the same cost of the $2 billion diamond, are pretty freaking close for all of that. Anyway, I have no idea if any of the submarine lingo is all of that. But yeah, super unclear if like this is actually how the sub, poor versus rich is very, very insane. Even though like the poor in that movie are so glammed up Hollywood wise, they don't even feel poor. Like Leo doesn't, it took me the most recent rewatch of that movie to realize, oh, Leo's poor. You know what I mean? I just kind of got that he like wasn't as rich as like Callahan or whatever his Cal was. Anyway, then they have like the bathtub leaving the water running, you know, a symbolism of the movie, right? Because of the drowning and all the water. Oh yeah, Cal is hot, 100%. Like, would we, on my Hear Me Out cake, there is Cal, right? You know what I mean? Like, he's there. He's sticking up in that cake, guys. He's sticking up. Anyway, we have no idea why the people are searching the Titanic. Like, why now? Why in the 90s? Like, what? That's been so long, right? It's been so, like, what? What's going on, James Cameron? We need more context. Anyway, you got a robot moving stuff for literally 20 minutes. Like, James Cameron, fast forward, cut it, okay? It's too late now. You made $1 billion off this movie, so what the heck do I know, I guess? But literally cut this. Like, that is my advice to you as a producer. Anyway, here we go. Your beautiful, blood diamond, I'm gonna say. It's the heart of the ocean, but I'm calling it the blood diamond. Because basically, let's just call it like it is. Yeah, the trio, that was a really good part too. Thank you so much for the follow, you guys. We're talking about the Titanic if you're just joining us. So he thinks the captain of the ship is getting all excited and greedy because he thinks he's gonna find this $2 billion blue diamond, which one, it's gonna probably look like absolute craptastic if it's at the bottom of the ocean by now, right? Like, it's gonna be a worthless diamond. At that point, will it have not come back to be a lump of coal? Like, somebody correct me. I have no idea how rocks work, okay? But I feel like I have a little bit of an idea, and I feel like that diamond would not have been it, okay? Anyway, they have all this cameras. They think that they've done it right. They're gonna unbox this diamond. This was the first unboxing in films, okay? Before you started doing it on Twitch, before you started doing it on YouTube, here we have it in the Titanic. We are gonna unbox the heart of the freaking ocean. They're popping champagne too, you guys. They have no idea what's in that right? Like, they have no idea, and they're just celebrating. They're just ready to freaking go, right? Chickens before they hatched, all right? I don't know if there were any chickens on the Titanic, but I like to think that there were, right? I like to think that they had just little chickens that also drowned, as horrible as that is. Anyway, you got these dirty, rusty, muddy gloves, triggered as heck, reminds me of doing dishes, right? I don't like it. And anyway, all the partners, like, want to know where he's going because he opens up the thing, right? And there's nothing there. Well, he doesn't have the blood diamond. What's gonna happen? How is he gonna afford all these submarine shots? You know what I mean? But they do find a spicy nude, right? Which is pretty. I don't think that they fully appreciate the nude. Also, let's talk about probability that piece of paper is even intact after. I mean, that's like, there's so much time that has passed. There's at least 80 years that has passed since that, and we have that. Thank you so much, you guys. And yeah, that's the thing. I said how it survived. I don't understand. It was like the power of her sexual magnetism supposedly outdid the ocean. Like, we don't even know how deep the ocean is, okay? I don't even know at what level of the ocean is the Titanic. Are there anglerfish, like in Finding Nemo? Like, what's going on there? Is it at the level of the aliens? Like, what is going on with the Titanic ship? Somebody please submarine me in, right? SOS me, okay? And I'm like, also, I kept wondering too, I'm like, what kind of charcoal pencils were they using back then too? She was underage, Rose? I think maybe she was, okay, I'm gonna look that up, because if that's the case, then I really should have saved this for my podcast. But I'm pretty sure she was 19 when I last looked it up. But I get it. Jack might have been underage. Rose, Titanic age. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Sometimes you got to do a little bit of research in the live, right? Oh no, she is 17 years old. She is 17 years old. So yes, I should have saved this. But whatever. We're going to pretend that 17 is an adult. Either way, I don't think this is an appropriate thing for children. And she was already, and I feel like in that context, like women didn't go to school really. So we're going to count this as an adult movie. I mean, there's a nudie patootie in there, okay? So anyway, so I don't know what kind of charcoal pencils, are just like are being used that are surviving the ocean water. What kind of lead, right, was in there? If Jack didn't die from being on the door, he was gonna die from the charcoal lead in his pencils, okay? So anyway, what's so weird is like, I feel like as soon as I would have opened a chest that was in the middle of the ocean, deep in there, right? If I had opened it up and looked in and I saw a nudie that wasn't there, I would have been like, whoopsie, that's not mine. And like buried it, right? But these are some dirty dog sailors on the submarine, okay? And they're like, people who like art were probably like, oh my gosh, there's no way, like what do you do? Like did they copy and paste? Like are in this theory, if the world of the Titanic was actually like 100% factual, right? Are historians gonna copy and paste Rose's underage Tata pics, right? Are they going to copy and paste that thing and just hang it all around, like mass copy and produce it, right? I wonder if you can, like, I'm sure there are probably shirts with the Titanic nudie in question on it, right? That are just like mass produced. And like, how do you feel about this, Kate Winslet? Was it a body double? I'm not quite sure, but there's a lot going on here, right? Like, what is going on with the art? I'm really worried about Rose's fictional body integrity, right? Like it's getting spread. If they had it on camera too, they opened the nudie on camera. It's like Kim Kardashian all over again, you guys. The original Kim K. She didn't copy it from Paris, you guys. She copied it from the Titanic, okay? But anyway, so they super are just shooting the Titanic. James Cameron is he's just masturbatory in the submarine stuff. I'm honestly, he's jacking off as a sub. I'm just gonna say it, okay? And then what a wild concept to be this old woman, right? Like, I can't even imagine. Am I gonna look through my own NUDESs at 90, right? And be like, am I gonna have them little framed in a little like album cover? Like, what are we going to do collectively, millennial and Gen Z women, with our nudies of the past? You know what I mean? Like, are we gonna be 90 looking at our younger bodies? I have so many questions, okay? But yeah, anyway, long story short, James Cameron, if you've happened to come on this live, cut the beginning stuff of a movie that you've already made a long time ago. Anyway, so then we go all the way back to Rose and Calvin, right? Honestly, there's something kind of hot between them, right? She doesn't really have reason to leave. She's kind of just a spoiled brat. She just is giving brat energy. She's kind of what Charlie XY, I can never say Charlie X's name or whatever, but she's kind of like what I feel like that album was about, right? Brat and the brattiest of brats, okay? And honestly, there is something about Cal, like he's kind of giving Gaston in the way that you like, he's like hot, right? But you also, he's like want to punch you in the face hot. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to like, he has like fight me energy to everybody, like everything about it. But I guess because he's in a nice little tuxedo suit, nobody fights him, right? Not until the end of the movie towards that. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. But anyway, he has her attention because he has the heart of the diamond that not a lot of people know about because it's in the past. It feels like not enough people knew about it in the 90s, right? It feels like a niche nerd incel interest, right? About the little blue ocean. But anyway, when old Rose calls up and she's like, I actually do have the heart of the diamond, people are like, this crazy old lady, she's lying. She's probably on them meds, right? Never believe old women, especially if they're old. Even though like that's her nudie. So she knows. Anyway, so they spend money on this lady, right? I mean, at this point, do you even need the $2 billion diamond? You're sending old ladies all the way to the submarine to your ship, right? How do you even fly there? I guess it was like a helicopter or something, but right, like how does you even organize that travel to go on a ship? Somebody who is rich and on TikTok scrolling at 8 p.m., I feel like if you're rich, you're not here. But if you are, explain to me the travel, like how do you get to the ship? Anyway, they're trying to say that like you're a liar, old lady Rose, because the real Rose died at 17, you know what I mean? And that would make you 101 because the Titanic is 100 years old. And she's like, I'm going to be 101 next month, right? And I don't know if they have a doctor to validate this. I mean, it is kind of crazy, but also props, like, she was so healthy to have survived that trauma. Like, she must have, I don't know, whatever was in that water, that ice water, maybe, maybe consider bottling that instead of baby's blood. Illuminati. Just my own opinion, right? Anyway, I guess she had said she had done, like, some background work as an actress. I think she, like, lived in the Los Angeles area, and I have no idea. I guess they're, like, probably towards Alaska, Antarctica. They ran into an iceberg, so wherever icebergs are in the ocean. Sorry, I'm a stupid American. I'm not geologically ever correct. Anyway, she says she changed her name to Rose Dawson, which, if you know the end of the story, it's kind of adorable, right? She took his last name. She got married, right? I disagree with my one trans friend where she was like, I'm not married, we're just saying we're married in name. But then I am sometimes like, okay, well, Rose did this with Jack, and I'm like, all right, we'll allow it if you take the last name, right? Anyway, this is then again, this is also too long. James Cameron. Like, I understand you made $1 billion of this movie. It's iconic. I'm literally wearing a shirt that isn't even sold by you. I don't even think you get a percentage of the shirt, James Cameron. But, bro, I'm losing the sense of urgency in all of these diving scenes. Like, this was so absolutely masturbatory, like, in terms of just the submarine scenes, man. We get your sub. We get it. Anyway, Rose also, I guess she, like, flew out her granddaughter as well. I mean, she's 101, so she probably needs a travel companion. So, like, let's not, you know what I mean? Like, let's give the disabled people what they need, the elderly particularly. But she has her granddaughter, Nancy, right? So she's remarried. We don't know anything about her new love also, I want to say. So if there's going to be a remake, give me the facts on Rose's family, right? That would have been interesting. I would have liked to know how she moved on, right? I do think that in this world of remakes and film, we are probably going to be looking at a Titanic TV series. I'm sorry to say it will probably happen. Anyway, Nancy's already met everybody, but okay, listen, Rose is 101 years old. We're just gonna have to allow it. Right? I cannot believe, I just want to say, I know it was the 90s, people were doing risque things back then. They showed a nudie on the TV. They showed it on the television. She was broadcasted, right? You want to talk about a leaked nude, right? We don't talk about this enough in the Titanic, I feel like. So I'm sorry I'm harping on it, but we just got to talk about it. Anyway, the big blue diamond, which was worth $2 billion, is because of old King Louis, right? He was crowned. There was a diamond in his crown. Woo! It's European. Again, blood diamond. Blood diamond. All right. So she was like, it's the heart of the ocean diamond. She's like, I only wore it once. It was super heavy. And they go back and there's a couple claims of, like, other sons, it's starting to become like a kind of a Willy Wonka frenzy a little bit. But we quickly get out of that, even though that would have been way more interesting than the 20 plus minutes we wasted of submarine footage. We go back April 14th. Oh my gosh, almost close. We're like May 14th, right? Almost about a month ago, you guys. 1912, right? Here we are where we need to be. She was like, I do like the one moment when she's, like, looking through all of the stuff that she thought was, like, lost forever as the old woman. I mean, the old woman is a really good actor, right? I don't know her name. I should have looked it up. But the old woman playing Rose, she's got it, right? Should have probably won something for it. When she's looking through the recovered things, it's absolutely moving, right? Cut the sub scenes, James Cameron. Push in close up, fix on that, right? That's the heart of the movie. You want to talk about the heart of the ocean. Imagine losing all your stuff, thinking it's gone forever, and then finding it and then seeing it, like, literally almost like 90 years later. Incredible, okay? Like, the acting is so good, and I really do believe that her and Kate Winslet are the same person. Like, I don't know how I believe that, but if you had told me that was Kate Winslet in old age makeup, I would have been like, bet, you got it. So she nailed it. She nailed it right. That old lady actor, let's give it up for her. Hell yes, lady, you needed so much more. Anyway, they're, like, doing these mock things. AI before AI, right? You guys, they were giving us the hints of the movie, as all the conservative conspiracy theorists like to say. But they're showing how the Titanic, like, sank, okay? If you want to see that, watch the movie. I'm not good at physics. I cannot help you there. And man, they hit it heavy. They hit it heavy with that dialogue. It is super, super heavy hand expedition, right? It's like boom, boom, boom. We did not even consider a second draft. We just were like, we're just going to tell you everything that you need. Oh my gosh. Her crying as old Rose when she sees the doors. This lady's breaking my heart. Anyway, I love too that she's 84 years old and they just let her, they're just gonna sit around on the ship and let her tell the longest story ever, right? It's giving Ted Mosby, you guys. It's giving Ted Mosby. All right. I also just love that, of course she would, right? I feel like my grandma, when she starts getting, she's around the same age as Rose is in this movie. When she gets onto a thing, she's not 101, but she's like 84 years ago, you know what I mean? When she gets in a movie, you just got to keep going because they can't even hear you, right? So they can't hear you to stop when you're asking questions. So you just got to let them tell the thing. It's like me talking to the live at you right now, right? We're going to be here for a while, you guys. We're going to be here for a while. Anyway, again, I think we could have just started here. I think we could have started here. And then maybe at the end, cut to her seeing this, right? Maybe something to explore in like a television series, right? I really just think, though, we could have started right here in the movie. 84 years ago, you know, we could have interjected some of the beginning in the middle, right? Maybe like through a dream. I don't know. We could have handled this better. But this was like kind of his first big comeback. Look at, she got the stylish purple hat, right? Let's give props to that costume designer. Killing it, killing it, killing it. Everyone's getting out. They're smiling at this boat. Imagine being an extra, a background actor on the Titanic and smiling. I don't even know if this is like a CGI boat at this point. But anyway, Rose is like, again, I'm telling you, B-R-A-T, bratty brat, all right? She's not impressed by this boat. She's like, whatever. It's a boat, right? I don't care. I could not. Big blue diamond from Louis, whatever, big ship, whatever. Imagine being that rich where like nothing excites you. Like when I see a cruise ship, I'm like, I'm starting to shake, right? I'm excited. I want to drink the alcohol. I want to go play mini golf at the start. I want to go down the water slide, right? I want to go into the casino, right? And that cruise ship is not even the size of the Titanic, right? But I'm shaking. So I cannot relate to Rose here. She's honestly kind of terrible. She probably did deserve to die in real talk. Not that I usually advocate for the killing of women at all, but why so bratty when you've got everything, right? She's just a little bit miserable, okay? She's just a little bit miserable. So she's very difficult to impress. I mean, that had to be really a lot of acting on Kate Winslet's part too, because it's a really beautiful ship, you guys. Like, I wouldn't say I'm attracted to ships, but like, this was a gorgeous ship. I can kind of understand James Cameron's like, you know, heart on. I can kind of understand it, all right? I can kind of understand it. Anyway, when I watched this on digital, I gotta say, watching the DVD, even though you had to switch it in between, you know what I mean? You had to switch it over. It was a better experience, but maybe I was also 13, right? So, Leo, I don't know. Leo and his friend, he got into America under a different name, right? Hint, hint, hint. Inspiration for Rose later, right? If you caught that. And I gotta say, this is my favorite Leo role. He'll never be as sexy. He'll never be as good of an actor. It was all downhill from here for Leo, in my respective opinion, right? Anyway, he says that they're both American, and they just let him aboard, right? Because it's 1912. Who cares, right? There's no computers. Nobody's suspicious, you know, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? They're all excited. It's a ship. So imagine security being as lax as it was in 1912, right? We would probably all die more. I think a lot of people lax as it was in 1912, right? We would probably all die more. I think a lot of people did. So anyway, you do have this one like lingering moment of tension where the expeditions people like looked very closely at them. But I think because he was mostly white passing, and his friend kind of got in through his his little Irish passing, he got aboard, right? So he got really lucky. He won the like money for the ship through a little poker game. They're all waving goodbye off of the ship. What can happen, right? It's not a goodbye, you guys. It's a see you later, right? What if you said that at the Titanic, right? Anyway, waving to the end. Imagine too, like, you just like set somebody on a ship or even like on an airplane, right? And you like think you're gonna see them again. And you're like, wow, they're gonna have such an amazing voyage. I can't wait to come and hear about their trip. And then it's like, oh, oops, they died. So that sucks. Anyway, crazy that this is even real. Anyway, again, James Cameron, the underwater shots are not as cool as he thinks. But I do appreciate that he is a geek for this, right? I really do. I'm not 70s downtown, also, if you were wondering. This has nothing to do with the Titanic. But I bet you Rose was. I don't know if they shaved in 1912. I do not know if women shaved. I kind of doubt it. Because I feel like metal and stuff, like the things that are like plastic and that we take for granted so easily now were like rare resources back then. But anyway, really, really like this. I really do like people who are geeked about tech. My boyfriend at the time of this review, my ex Luke, he once opened up my broken Yeti mic just because he wanted to see what was inside. And maybe I should be more afraid of men knowing this about them. Do you know what I mean? That they would open up broken things just to take a little peek-see inside, okay? But anyway, I guess it's not all so bad. Again, Leo is so charming in this. Instant crush. You know, this is my spank bank. I'm just gonna be so real with you guys. But they're bunking with others, right? So that's what we're not talking about. That's what we're not talking about. This happens on cruise ships, I think, if you work with them too. You guys, they're like, you're not in your own little room. That's how I've done my cruise ships. I've had my own little private room that I shared with a boyfriend. Rich girl. Where is she now? Can she come back? Would love to see her again, okay? But if you work there, you get like lesser ones, you're bunking with the others, right? And you're at the bottom of the ship, super, super seasick, not as glamorous, right? Maybe we're regretting, you know, winning in poker. But anyway, he's going out to that private deck, right? Also, maybe an innuendo, right? Hi, Jeremy, how are you? Okay. Then we got Rose's family. They're buying art. They're going to be on the ship voyage, not even that long. They're buying art for it because they, let alone a rich person could understand, you know, a tasteless room, right? A tasteless room without art. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a filter. Yeah. They're like, it needs color, but the room is like absolutely gorgeous. Like, what a shame. Imagine being the scenic artist who put their heart and soul into this Titanic room, and you got these rich people being like, oh, I don't like it. You know what I mean? I think you just have to be unhappy to have that so much money, I guess, maybe, because you worked all the time. But anyway, Rose is looking for truth. She's kind of over all of that. She just feels like there's no logic in a lot of stuff. They don't like Picasso, right? Which is good. Picasso's kind of an a-hole if you don't know about Picasso. One day we'll do the Picasso movie. But anyway, they're saying, they make a little joke of like, Picasso's not gonna amount to anything. His art is so cheap or whatever. And Rose likes Picasso because she kind of likes a little bit of a bad boy, okay? That's why she's in this kind of love triangle. Both of them are not men of the hour, okay? They both have a little bit of a bad about them, right? Jack's a rapscallion, all right? And Cal is a snotty rich person, right? She's got a type, Rose. And I related to her, not just because my middle name is Rose, right? But Rose, she's a bohemian, right? She's bohemian girl. Hi, Matt, how are you? We're talking about the Titanic. Then we meet the unsinkable Molly Brown, right? I think this is Kathy Bates. I can't remember. Unsinkable Molly Brown. Wouldn't you like to have the term unsinkable in front of your name, right? What a privilege. Actual real person. I think there's a horrible musical. I've tried to listen to it so many times, but the music just sucks. Oh, yeah, right? I think we talked about that. You went to it in Vegas. Anyway, Molly Brown, she's out. She's new money. Her husband struck gold out west, right? Out west where we probably are, right? Okay. So unsinkable Molly Brown isn't going to go out anywhere, right? So people are judging her though because she's new money, right? We like it old over here at the Titanic, I suppose. And the scenes where the boat launches, okay, I'll give James Cameron that. Cool. I will look into that. Let me screenshot that real quick. But thank you for the suggestion. Actually, I'm going to record this live, so hopefully I'll remember. Actually, let me take a note. Real quickly. Hold while I take a note. Sorry, I'm the slowest typer ever. It was, how do you say that? Europa? The Last Battle. Okay. Sounds like, honestly, dude, that I'm going to hate it because I don't like action at all. Spoiler alert. But I will do my best. I like to honor requests, so I got you. Anyway, yeah, the excitement about the ship, man, I don't even know where I would start. I honestly, if we could board the Titanic again, I'm going to be real with you. Like, I would be a little geeked, right? Even if people are like, it's going to sink, I'd be like, I'm a little geek to die in such a way, right? Super, super good. Like, cannot wait about that. And then they're seeing little dolphins that are so badly animated, right, guys? These dolphins, they don't hold up. They should have hired real dolphins. Thank you for sharing the live, Jose. Guys, yes, the Titanic's like April 15th, 1912. Guys, April 14th. It didn't last a day, honey. It didn't last a day. Oh, man. How many men have I slept with in the bed where that is the same result? But, okay, anyway. You guys, the bad dolphins animated by the ship. One, I've been on ships where I see dolphins. They're never that close. Don't let the movies lie to you. Okay? We like literally didn't need the dolphins, but I don't know, maybe we're trying to appeal to the kids. Hi Kelly. Oh my gosh. So anyway, the guys are getting excited to see Leo's crowing. He's crowing. Okay, I gotta say something. I gotta say something. People are gonna hate this. I don't give a hoot nanny about the king of the world. That is cut it. Put it on the axing floor with the sub machines, James Cameron. I hate it. It's so dumb. At the base ship with his buddy, also, I feel like this was funded by the gays, I gotta say. It looks homo. It looks homo when he does it with his friend. I'm calling gay. I'm probably the gayest person in this chat. It looks gay. It's gay. Happy Pride. Okay? It's gay. Rose is smoking, right? Give it up for the OG stoner, JK. But her mommy doesn't like it. She doesn't like that she's smoking, but she's a bohemian. She's edgy. She's just giving 17-year-old pissed off. Me at 17. I too was smoking at 16 or 17. Man, we could talk all about the psychology of Rose. We could get into there. And Leo is sketching, right? We already established that Rose lives an artist, right? They're destined to fall in love. Soulmates, right? CoStar app would have said them the same, right? And guess what the name of the main guy is in this one, you guys? I'm thinking about it because his name is Jack, okay? Okay, we're fine. And my middle name's Rose. Everything's so good. Anyway, an Irishman built the ship, right? So that's why Jack is there. That's why Jack is living it up, right? He's having pride, right? He feels like he should be there because his ancestry, right? And I would say the Mexicans built America and they should have the rights to be here, as do the natives, right? So we're all on the same page here, aren't we? Anyway, Leo sees Rose, falls in love, instant sight, right? How could you not? This is the hottest Kate Winslet will also ever be, right? Maybe besides Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I already have a review on YouTube. If you guys are interested in that, just DM me. I'll send it to you. Yeah. Also, it is such an impossible, like... I love that. I love that, like, Leo, though, must be on such a wavelength of the universe, like, so good with God, you guys, right? He, like, manifested this, right? He, like, falls in love. It's giving my abusive ex-boyfriend where it was, like, he's just decided that he likes somebody and he looked out for a little bit, right? Like, literally so impossible. Like, what an impossible person to fall in love with that it works out to be this greatest love story that, like, is maybe ever told, right? Literally hot, okay? Anyway... I wish he was marrying more of a stunning fashion when this happened, but it just kind of also just shows you, right, like, Leo, Jack's character, he's a down-to-earth guy, right? He doesn't even need to love her when she's all sparkling up. Like, she's kind of in her kind of grunge era, right? Like, no makeup on, right? And she still looks pretty to him, right? So he really loves her, where Cal's probably like, powder your nose, or, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. So anyway, we gotta love we get this narration because she's like, I love that Rose is just, like, so bored of the conversation. Like, you can see it. I love this scene because I feel like I really related to it when I'm super depressed, right? When I'm super depressed and people talk about things that are literally just, like, like, you just want to run out and throw yourself off the ship, right? So bad. Really bad. Okay, I hope that somebody's not controlling our movement with voodoo. That is scary. But thank you for that. That will haunt my dreams forever. Anyway... She was so, like, imagine being so bored of a conversation, you're like, what if I just ended my life? You know what I mean? I've been there. I've been one of her kind, unfortunately. So, this is my favorite scene of any favorite scenes I've ever, like, it is so good. It is so good. We should just watch and play it, okay? Because I absolutely love the scene. I think it's so machismo. I'm gonna actually play some Titanic music because I originally meant to do that at the beginning of this live. So, whoopsie, but better late than never. We're gonna play Titanic music to set us into the mood. But yeah, I'm still not over that literally her attempt is, like, because she's so bored. And maybe, too, I gotta say, sometimes when you are on a ship, you are, like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was intentionally sunk. I also just think, I know Murphy's Law of Chaos as a film producer myself, and pretty much anytime you think everything is good, something's gonna go wrong, right? Something's gonna go wrong that you didn't anticipate, no matter how hard you try. And that's life. I have really been thinking about everything as I've been trying to put order on my chaotic life. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe you just can't control a chaotic universe. You know what I mean? But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about the Federal Reserve Bank. Yes, it came out in 1997. I was 2 years old. But yeah, that's crazy. I love that. Yeah. It's big banking. So everybody, if you if you want vengeance for the Titanic, we'll all meet up outside the Wells Fargo with our $18 eggs, right? Of course. We'll just start this happening. All right, I'm probably gonna have to turn this down too because I blare my TV as if I am 101 myself, okay? As if I am 101 years self. You'd have just been 1 year old, you baby. No, well, your name says young, so that should have given that away, huh? That should have given that away. All right, everything's happening. There's gonna be ads. Let's fix the picture. Back at it again, friends. We're going back into the review seamlessly. None of thing. Anyway. So like I said, she was so bored of the conversation, she decides to end it all, right? I will say, when you are on a ship like that, sometimes in like traveling into foreign lands, I do sometimes get like the super sads. I don't know if it's because like when your feet leave the earth and if you're like an earth person, right, it like feels jarring and weird. But yeah. And then Jack just happens to be outside smoking. Very similar to my Jack. They have that in common. They both smoke, right? So they're gonna hit it off so good, right? Smoker to smoker. It's meant to be so good. He's looking at the stars, right? Enjoying life. Different ends of the spectrum, right? We got somebody appreciating beauty. We got somebody about to end it all, join the stars, you know what I mean? Become the stardust in the ocean. And it's such an interesting perspective of like, she is trying to end her life right here, and he's like so appreciative and grateful, right? And only a person that is like that can pull the person that is at the end out of there, right? I'm telling you guys, I love this scene so much as a suicidal person, okay? It means so much to me. James Cameron, I would lick your feet for this. Like, I know I said a lot of crap about the submarine scene. This scene is so, so good, okay? I absolutely love it so, so much. Anyway, baby's gonna jump off the ship. I've been there, honey. I've been there. I've sat on a cruise ship and I've thought about it. Maybe I got a little inspo. Maybe I got a little inspo from there. Anyway, I kind of just wonder too if she was like hormonal, right? Was she on her cycle? Because when I'm on my cycle too, that's when you should be really nervous. I'm about to jump. But anyway, she's in a terrible relation, right? She's just so controlled in her life, and I think she doesn't want to be as a 17. Oh my gosh, mad. Well, Jack does save her from the jumping. Anyway, and I think that Rose, like, I think this was like such a clever design in the screenplay of like bringing Rose as this kind of rebel, brings her to the modern audience of the 90s, like makes her kind of timeless, right? That she doesn't want to be like everybody else, right? It is so like better. It's just like more of a relatable female character. Like I feel like most of the female characters in films of the time are just like kind of robotic dolls, and we just do what you say. And even if we're doing feminism, we're doing performative feminism. And Rose was actually like, no, I am who I am, and I'm really feeling that I cannot be who I am in the society because I lose my acceptance and I'm going to be judged for who I am. I cannot fully exist in this way, and mad relatable. And those are the kinds of feelings that are going to bring you to the edge of the ship, you guys. Those are the kinds of feelings that are going to do it. Oh my gosh, super sad music. It's super, super messed up, right? I mean, and the sad thing is too, is like, it's a ship, it's moving. So when her body it's like off in the ocean. Like, it's going to take people time to realize where she is, right? People are going to wonder what happened. People aren't even going to maybe even suspect that she did it herself, right? She's just lost at the sea. I'm going to cry. It's fine. Everything's good. This is a fake person. This didn't really happen. But I know what happens to people, right? Where they jump off that ledge. And it's really, really sad. Anyway, super, super messed up. Feel really sad for her. Been her kind. And then Jack is just like, he's very simple. Just don't do it. Amazing. He's cured, right? Instantly cured. She gets off the ship. She walks. They fall in love. JK, that's not what happened. I will say, I get why that the don't do it response in terms of like when you're feeling suicidal is probably the best thing to say, because I feel like when you're there, you're so like fixated, right, on ending it, that concept, it's good to hear it, right? Because if the brain is hearing very loud, do it. And then you have another voice that's outside of your own that's like, hey, perhaps not. Perhaps do not do that. It does break that, but it's also like, it's obviously not simple. She's here for a reason, right? She's here at the edge of the ship. Like, she's made up her mind, right? And really, this poor Irish boy has no right to comment on her choice, right? Do we believe in true freedom of will? If we truly do, does Rose have, the ability to jump off? Should she, I don't want her to, obviously. Jack doesn't want her to. I don't feel good about it, but it is what it is. But yeah, Jack is like, you know what, like, there's a lot of, or Rose is like, there's a lot of reasons to do this. Like, you don't even know it. And then Jack does this kind of thing. I think this is so good of him. Like, and it kind of brings like a trustworthiness of him because he's like a stranger to her, right? And it's a weird, like, the most 1912s way of like asking for consent without asking for consent, right? So he just goes close to the ship to throw a cigarette over, right? And I think in some ways too, he's like demonstrating, like, look at the fall, honey. Like, think about it. Think about, let's be rational for a second, right? Like, you're gonna put out your fire that you have. You clearly have fire. You're standing at this edge of the ship. You're going to put out the fire. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm gonna literally talk about the scene for 30 minutes because it means so much to me. Like, I'm obsessed with it. I think about it once every month. It haunts my dreams. It fills me. I am who I am in my person. Like, there's a chunk of my brain dedicated to the scene on the ship, you guys. I love it so much. Anyway, Jack then is like, I'm going to call your bluff, right? Which is so hot, but also probably not great in terms of suicide prevention, but also sometimes would also work on me and probably would work on other girls. I can't speak for everybody, but I would say it would work on me. And he's like, you know what? I don't think you're going to do it. You would have done it already. Which of course makes Rose like, who are you to tell me what I'm going to do? Who are you? Because I'm brat, baby. I'm brat. Like, what? The heck? You're going to tell me what to do? I don't even know. You have to hear that from my husband. I have to hear that from my mother. What the heck are you're going to tell me what to do? Poor boy? I don't think so, Irishy. I don't think so. We're not going to do that. And Jack's like, also, I can't let you go. I can't pretend I didn't see anything because now I'm involved. And I'm poor, right? And now you roped me into this. How could you do that to me? This hot poor boy, right? I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve that from you, right? And now Rose, right? That gets Rose, right? That would have gotten me. I would feel guilty, right? He got her. The psychological game he played for good, right? You men, you're using your psychological powers to manipulate women for evil, right? If you chose to use it for good, how many roses could you save from the edge of the ship? Think about that, Charlie. Think about that, okay? Really get that into your thick skull, boys. Think about that. You could use your powers of manipulation and persuasion. This is the way in which women want to be lied to, and only this way to save themselves, okay? I can't even believe it took me a Titanic review to get that out, but it's out there in the open, okay? But anyway, he's like, listen, so if you go out there now, I'm involved. I'm going to have to jump in after you, right? Crazy. But we love it. We stand it. So it's hot. It's so good, right? Aren't we all just looking for a man that would go overboard for us? Aren't we all? Isn't that all love is, right? That should be in everybody's vows. Every single person's vows should be like, I would be willing to go overboard if you were going to jump over the ship and try to like leave your life. I would go and save you, right? That's what he saves her in the end too. He saves her in the end. I'm fine. We're going to stick together. We're just going to do this. Anyway, he's like, and sadly, like, the fall alone probably isn't going to be the thing that unfortunately kills you. Another hint, another beautiful foreshadowing. He's like, it's going to be the cold of the water, right? This would be the worst way for somebody like me to die because I have cold Euridica. So if I were in Rose's position, I would have died on the ship because the air itself would have caused me to have anaphylactic shock and I would have just passed. So I would not have survived the Titanic. And that is something I know about me and I carry that with me all the time. I also think that in the 1912s, I would have been crazy enough that I probably would have jumped in even without Jack. I would have been like, just another man trying to control me. But I don't know. He still might have gotten me when he was like, I'm going to have to jump in there after you too, right? And I truly believe that he would have. He would have jumped up. If ever there was a man who was not lying, it's Jack in this moment. So good. They don't make men like that anymore. Anyway, he's like, listen, like, let's just think practical. Like, this is not a good solution. Like, whatever's going on, like, he's just like, let's talk it out, right? We love a man initiating an emotional conversation. Usually that's women's work. Jack comes in here and is like, don't worry, baby, I'm going to take over for tonight. Hot. Okay. And I did kind of wonder at first because I was like, would she know how cold the water is? And then I was like, actually, I just don't think she's thinking about it, right? Because when you were thinking about that, you're just thinking about ending the pain, right? That's why it's so important in those moments to like actually ground yourself, right? To think about like really like 5 things you can taste, 5 things you can smell, all of that, right? All of that stuff, ground yourself in the moment because you're not focusing on the You're not focusing on like what you're in here, right? You need to get out of your head. You need to get into your body. So now she's thinking about her cold, right? He's really smart in doing this. This is actually like a very, very good suicide prevention technique, is that he grounded her into reality, right? He brought in that other people care about her. Other people are going to go in. Other people are responsible for her life, that we're all interconnected, which is a very, very human and loving presence that always reassures somebody. Then 2, he comes in and he's like, let's get into her senses. Like, get out of here, get into here, get into the wigglies, right? You're dysregulated, queen. You're dysregulated. Let's regulate you, right? And Jack goes on. He starts talking about Wisconsin, which is crazy because the X of my time I was watching this one. Yes, exactly. Feel more, think less, right? Like, so true. Jack grew up there. I guess he immigrated there from Ireland. And he's like, you seem like an indoor girl, which is like, what an insult. We should be calling more girls indoor girls. I think I might be an indoor girl, especially given how pale I am. But I love that. We need to bring back, there should be a niche of girls, right? You've heard of clean girl. You've heard of that clean girl thing. You've heard of the diva. You've heard of all of that. Let's bring indoor girly into there, right? We're not saying that enough. Anyway, there is a modernness to DiCaprio's performance, okay? Is he 100% reading 1912? He's not, right? He didn't win the best actor for this for a reason. He's not. There's a modernness, but also we don't care because he's so hot. He's so hot in this movie. Like, it doesn't matter. Is he a good actor? Should he have been maybe a little bit more in 1912? Yes, probably. But the modernness, it's what makes them both hot. Like, they've got something that is timeless, right? That is still relevant. Here I am in 2025, right? The Titanic hundreds of years ago. The scene is in my brain. Here are the lines it left for me thinking about this scene, right? It's so good. But anyway, it just makes it like so relevant, right? I'm the screenwriter who did this. You're a genius. You're legendary. You cash in on those residuals, sweetie. We love you. Anyway, Jack starts taking his clothes off to prepare. Again, hot, right? We love a man who would get naked to save a life, right? That's the problem, right? There's not enough men getting naked and saving lives. You know, maybe firefighters would rescue more people if they went into fires naked. Just kidding. That's a horrible idea. But you get it. I would rather gain muscle, thank you. Rose, oh my goodness. I hate that comment. That I get that every live, but it's also kind of funny. Yeah. Anyway, Rose is like, you're crazy, and this is, again, such a good line of the scene. Again, I've been talking about this for 30 minutes. I love it so much. He goes, with all due respect, ma'am, I'm not the one hanging off the back of a ship. Roasted, Rose. Roasted. Who's crazy now? And I love it. I love it too because it's kind of disarming. It's kind of charming, right? Bada bing, bada boom. They're in love forever. Okay? It's so good, right? Anyway, such a well done scene. They also made up a fake lake in Wisconsin because I asked my boyfriend at the time if that was an actual real lake in Wisconsin. It's not. I don't know why we did that. We could have just researched. We could have researched it. Anyway, now unfortunately, because we gotta have action on every cup of the page, the studios know what they're doing. She almost falls off the ship. And now, honestly, this is where I'm like, in modern day casting, like if they're gonna redo the Titanic, Jack is gonna be black, and we all know it. He's gonna be black, he's gonna be Mexican, he's gonna be a person of color, okay? He's gonna be a person of color. Because the police turn on him, right? The police turn on him, and they're like, is this a murder? Is this an RAPE? Because it looks like it. Because why is a poor boy with a rich boy? RAPE? Because it looks like it. Because why is a poor boy with a rich boy? It would never go. This is a private deck. That is how it is. They're fake freckles, but thank you, Gregory. I wish I had real freckles. I have real freckles on my shoulders from a sun blister. But anyway, they at least believe her, which is more than I can say about modern day society believing women. So great. So great that 100 years later, they believe a woman in this fictional scenario in Titanic more than they believe them today. So cool about that. We love to see it. We love to see it. They believed her when she was overwhelmed, I also want to say, which I feel like, honestly, in my own domestic abuse situation, the only reason that they believed me, I think, is because I was, like, mad calm. I just, like, ghosted out. Like, it was almost, like, sociopathic, though, how numb I was. Like, it was so... I was exhausted, though. It was, like, months of this, right? I was like, take me away at this point, too, if you want to. I don't care. And these police believed her overwhelmed. So it's possible, law enforcement, it's possible to believe a story even if somebody is overwhelmed in a traumatic situation. Wouldn't you bet? Wouldn't you bet about that? So crazy. Anyway, she lies about what she's doing, which is not great. there's a medic on set. We should just do that. We should maybe have talked about it. All right, we're gonna have to mute you, OG. We're gonna have to mute you because I'm not gonna be doing that. I will be moaning on about how great the Titanic is, though. Anyway, they're like, listen, women and machinery don't mix, right? Which is kind of, but it's 1912, so they would have said that. And I am also a woman where machinery doesn't mix, so it is a fair assessment about me. I don't think for all women, but there is a bucket, there is a niche category, and I am in the woman and machinery not mixing portion of it, okay? But her lie also kind of just like covers up again. It shows that Rose is stuck, right? She's stuck in that she can't live authentically and she can't live honestly. She's buttoned up into that corset of the rich, right? She cannot say, I have to just absolutely just get away from, I would rather jump off a ship than continue living in the way the society is, right? So relatable right now. I would rather jump off the ship, right? But she's not free enough to say that. She's still trapped, right? She's still trapped in what people think. And that sucks. I feel bad for her. I hate it. They give him $20 and they invite him to dinner. How to save a life, $20 and a little bit of dinner. And her husband is so, he's so swarmy and charming. And I like him a little bit and I feel bad. I think he smacks her at one point, and that's when I'm like, oh wait, I hate him actually. I hate him. Even though in the 1912s, I think that was just something that was being done, right? That was just like, they learned it from the cave people, right? Like, and honestly, I'm a woman, I gotta say, like, not that I want to be smacked or hit. I don't, especially in my own house that I'm paying for. But do I need sometimes to wrestle a man? Yeah, I do. And not in even like a kind of way, like a little mexy way. No. I just need to wrestle a man. Like, that's the way for me to get regulated back again, okay, you guys? So wild. Okay, sorry, I missed all of these comments. We are alone. What do you mean we're alone? Thank you for the follow, Mark. I'm sassy, cute, and adorable. Yeah, that's kind of something that happens. Ooh, I love Skyrim. How do I feel about that? Skyrim, I like Skyrim a lot. I would make a great psychiatrist. No, I would not, because I would get so involved. Honey. I would be like, all right, sorry you're leaving him. Sorry, this is it. I'm coming to your house. Let's clean it. I would just be so bad. Yeah, okay. Anyway, they're like, oh, she slipped so suddenly. Why were your shoes removed, weirdo Jack, right? Dun, 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 dun. That spells trouble, right? He has a foot fetish, maybe. That's what they're thinking. I don't know. Were foot fetishes around in the 1912? They had to be. Their oldest time. Anyway, you have that Hope Diamond, right? And her husband, Cal. We're all looking for a Cal nowadays, right? We paint Cal as the enemy, but he's showering Rose with things, right? He's sugar daddying, capital D. Capital D. I bet he's hung too. I do think Jack probably is smaller. I do think that. Give me likes if you agree. This is crazy. I'm so sorry. I'm on so much lack of sleep, but I had to get this review out. Anyway, the diamond is, honestly, I gotta say, super beautiful. I'm not even that into blue jewelry. Thank you. That is not the first time I've actually been told that I need a talk show. I'm hoping to build to it. But for right now, I have these lives, so I can kind of have it in my own way. Anyway, he's like, oh, this is like from royalty, right? Like, I will never, like, I'll always give you everything. I'm never not gonna give you nothing. And she's just like, you know what? Like, you deny me, you know what I mean? And I think he tries to like romance her. I think he's trying to sleep before marriage. And she's a little overwhelmed by this, right? She's a little overwhelmed. This is 1912, okay? That was just simply not done. Until it is done, right? Until it is done by the artiste, right? Until it is hot and heavy in a little painting, you know what I mean? Until it's done, right? But she just wasn't feeling, I think that's the thing sometimes. You can have this hot guy and he can be in your circle, right? I've been in this moment, and it can make absolute sense. Like, you should want to smash, right? He's being nice to you. He's doing all the right things, right? But you're just not in the mood, right? I mean, she just literally tried to throw herself off the ship, right? Maybe she's just not in the mood for a little hanky-panky, Mr. Cow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, calm it down, shut it down, button it up. All right, leave the corset on, because she's just not feeling it. No means no, even in 1912, okay? Yeah. It's kind of like, he's like, okay, I'm giving you this heart because you opened my heart. But he's only giving her jewelry to mess with her, right? No respect, right? He's not giving her these things because he loves her. He's giving her these things because he wants to her. You know what I mean? That's what he wants to do. He wants to get in there. Stimulamos, 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 okay? It's not genuine. And that is where Cal starts to fall off for me, right? He's still hot, right? But it's that hot, crazy scale in How I Met Your Mother. It's not good, fam. It's not, man. He's got another woman somewhere, probably. Honestly, he's got another woman somewhere, probably. Honestly, 9 times out of 10 you go out with a good-looking woman, she's got a homie waiting in the wings, okay? So it goes both ways, unfortunately. Welcome. We were never meant to be, I think, monogamous creatures, unfortunately. But do I dream that it can be true? Yes. I really do. Anyway, I do want to say, Kate Winslet looks like Kat Dennings a little bit in this movie. Do what you will with that. Ultimate fantasy threesome with Kat Dennings and Kate Winslet in this, but only as she is in Rose and Kat Dennings and Two Broke Girls, right, together. Like that's the ultimate gay happy pride. Anyway, they're walking miles on this boat deck. This boat deck is like huge. Like they literally walk in the scene. Like the Titanic is in size. Like that scene it's a crazy, crazy walk, you guys. It's so long. And anyway, she's like, listen, like, I'm calm now because my current husband almost tried to like rape me. And he thought he was entitled to because he just gave me something. But I thank you for your discretion, right? Like I thank you for that. Like thank you for being honorable. I thought honorable men were dead, you know? And, you know, thank you for pulling me back. Like, you know, it's probably good that at least I'm alive and I get a diamond, you know, like I guess, I don't know. You know, she's like trying to explain and Jack's like, listen, you know, I'm not judging you. I'm really not. I've been poor. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to be in them streets. I'm just like wondering why you thought there was no way out. Like you have so much at your disposal. You're rich, right? You're rich. Can't you do anything? Are you not a female who is unstoppable and can do anything? And she really struggles to be able to say like, yes, that's true and yes, that's not true at the same time. Aren't all women like, yes, that's true and yes, that's not true at the same time? Aren't all women struggling? Nothing changed? Has nothing changed? Is not Rose's struggle absolutely endearingly timeless? Anyway, she's like, I'm getting married and I'm going to be in front of all these people. And I feel like I could scream out loud and nobody would hear me. I'm fine. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to cry. But it's real. It's so real. Even though like I am screaming on my live and I have a lot of attention. So I don't even know her struggle. I couldn't even relate at all, right? Every time I've screamed, somebody has heard me. But I understand the angst. Especially at 17, right? Where it's like your own family, the person you love, you could scream, and they wouldn't pay attention. And you truly believe that in your gut. You believe that in your gut enough that you're about to walk off a ship, right? You're about to walk off a ship. You're about to end it all because you truly, truly believed that the people that care about you, that are supposed to love you forever and take care of you as a woman in 1912, they don't care about you at all. Heartbreaking, right? Of course she wants to do that. And then Jack is like, do you love your husband? Like for real, girl? Like, because it's kind of sounding like you don't like that guy. Because why would you like that guy if he doesn't care about you, right? Good question I should ask myself about my own Jack. But my Jack says that he loves me too. Okay, so it's fine. And he hasn't showered me with things. But he has RAP'd me. It's totally good. Anyway, she gets so mad at him for asking that question. And she pulls her rank, right? She throws down her Dom card. She's like, I'm done being sub. No. I'm Dom now. I'm done. I was being a brat. I'm not ever going to sub to you again, Jack. You are under my command. I'm richer than you. I have status. She pulls that rank. She pulls that rank on him. She's like, that's rude. And you know what? She's like, you deserve my insults. Like, you're out of control. Like, how dare you even question that I'm like a naughty little, you know, that what am I gonna, like, what, I'm gonna pick you? I'm gonna pick you, poor boy? Like, what are you gonna give me a diamond and RIPE me? No, you're not. You're not. And I don't want anything to do with that because that is what I'm told. So she's tied between those worlds too. She's flipped too because she knows, I think part of her is like, in order to survive, right? She has to shut down the authentic part of herself. She has to mask that and bury it deep within to become trauma later, to be repressed, you know, to hit her children, to hit her husband, to have these fights, right? She has to get rid of that part and accept this falsehood that society is telling her, like, that's what she has to be. Just agree to be with Cal, right? But Jack comes in and he's like, actually, girl, You don't have to do that, honey. You could do whatever you wanted to do, actually. Consider this, that the world is your oyster. Consider YOLO. Consider that you only live once, girly. Even though it's 1912, you only live once. You can do whatever you want in your life, which is also so beautiful because she gets to do that. She gets to do that. His wish for her, his desire for her to be like authentically herself, right? True love, right? That's not what Cal wants. Cal wants her. It's like hot in a way to like be told what to do, because as a woman, it's like super overwhelming sometimes, especially if you have ADHD. Like, just tell me what to do. Direct me, daddy. You know what I mean? Like, just tell me what to do. But the man that loves you will let you be you so authentically, I believe, right? They will encourage you to be like, it's Noah and Allie in The Notebook, right? He goes, what do you want, right? What do you want? Not what your friends want, not what your family wants. What do you want? And Jack is saying the same thing, but a little different here, right? So good. All right, but this isn't my favorite scene. It's honestly, in terms of acting, not very great. Not very great. It's giving very 90s rom-com of like, we're supposed to hate each other, enemies to lovers, even though you literally saved me and we cannot be enemies at this point, because I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for you, and I would not be semi-regulated, and I wouldn't be being my authentic self if it wasn't for you. But you gotta have them, you know, and also this is also part of a relationship, I think. Part of a relationship is you reveal the most ugliest, foul, vile parts of yourself, and you go, do you love me still? Will you still love me? Like, are you interested? Did you, because you saw my ugly. Did you like that too? You know what I mean? Like, that's part of love. And real love will be like, heck yeah, I love that ugly. Give me some more. You know what I mean? But respectfully, you know, and like not all the time, because then it gets toxic. But give me that ugly. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna suck on it. Anyway, he's like, you know what? I think like maybe we should just leave now. You know, like you're kind of being rude. And he's like, you know, I didn't mean to be rude or insult you. Like, she's like, you know, just like leave my presence. Like, I'm done. I'm not going to get hurt I'm already getting hurt by a rich boy. I'm not going to hurt by a poor boy, right? Honestly, my energy as well right now. But then she sees his art, right? And this is, I think, where Rose falls in love, right? She's like, an artist interested in me? You know what I mean? Could I be a muse? You know, like, could I live forever, right? If I want to end my life and I want to be so temporary, could I love myself enough to be immortalized in art? I'm on one today, you guys. God is speaking through me. This is a thing. Anyway, he's like, oh, I'm glad you like him, but like Paris didn't like him. Now she's interested. She's like, what? You went to Paris, but you're poor. How did you go to Paris? Honestly, tell us, leak the secrets, Jack, because I also want to know how you were poor and you went to Paris. Please know. And he's like, you know, they basically are kind of like, he's talking about how he was like drawing all these girls. And he's like, you know, it's kind of hard to like be with somebody and you're like sculpting these people and you have like no interest in like doing that with them. And I think Rose feels the same way about Cal, right? I think she's like, and I think that's also why she feels crazy. She's like, on paper, I should love him, right? Like on paper, I should love Cal. I should be with him. But I don't think he's sexy because he's so controlling, right? And it's like, she can't authentically be him. She cannot be emotionally naked around Cal, right? She cannot be she can't be so naked to the core. You know what I mean? She can't do it. So sad. It's hard to be with men like that. Anyway, he shows that he like fell in love with this like one-legged sex worker at the time. And I think that also endears Rose to him. She's like, she's a man representing disabilities, right? I'm like, honestly too, if Jack pulled this stuff on me, like if I met Jack, I would be a goner as well. I'm gone, right? Gone girl, absolutely me. So good. And it's like, you don't just see, Rose is like looking at it, she's not just seeing the art, it's like you see the thief's face, you're seeing the emotion, that's all of it. Like, he is very good. Whoever is the little sketch artist of this, I don't think it's Leo. They were delivering. So he goes and he's like telling her all about the people, right? They heal through that fight. She's fallen in love, right? She's interested in him because he's not just a poor boy. He is a traveler. He's an artiste. He's, you know, he's also kind of sexy. You know what I mean? That he drew all this woman. And I think there's a safety in that, right? It's like, you know, this man who had this opportunity to be up and all in this woman, right? He's not a predator in this way. Women felt safe enough to like be immortalized by him, right? Where are you? Where is that man? Where are you? Come to my house right now. But anyway, so he's telling all the people at lunch about kind of his whole story and stuff. And they kind of are like, they kind of treat him kind of the same way that they are with like Molly Brown. Like they don't want to hang out with her, right? Like I felt like unsinkable Molly Brown in like middle school. Like nobody wants to hang out with me. Like I'm weird, right? I'm not new money, even though I've never had money ever. But anyway, so it's kind of like an interesting dichotomy. I kind of wish we went a little bit deeper into Molly Brown. Like if we had just cut some of the sub scenes, we could have really gotten to some meat. I'm telling you, this can be a limited series for sure. Anyway, she's like, they talk about how like, you know, there's kind of this new stuff. There are things that are new. They want more news to print on the Titanic too, because they're just ranking in the publicity, right? I don't know if they were getting paid for publicity in that day or if they were just, this was like the beginning of that fame greed, right? And the captain is like, you know what, like, let's wow the presses even more. We're going to up the speed, right? This is how they got into a little bit of trouble too. They were like, they just got crazy, right? They're just like, let's start to just do and dare and do the impossible. But honestly, it's giving Steve Jobs. This is how Steve Jobs run Apple. That's literally why we have an iPhone. This is honestly why anything that's like crazy and inventive is happening and getting invented, because it's like somebody just dares to be like, let's push the envelope. Like, let's just see what if something happens? I don't know. It could be cool. Yes. So anyway, they don't let it properly run in the ship. They don't do anything normal. They're speeding it up, right? Go, daddy, go with this, right? And the captain, this is the other captain too. I think he's feeling a little reckless because he's gonna retire. This is his last sail, baby. He's retiring, right? He's got nothing to lose. He's probably depressed too. He's probably thinking about throwing himself off the ship, because what is a captain without a ship, right? He's losing himself. What are you gonna do in the 1912s if not sail to your death? You know what I mean? He's not thinking about the other people. He too is critically lost, but he doesn't have a jack to save him. That's the issue with the captain of the ship. R.I.P., dude. Anyway, this is also a classic theme in this movie. You're always wanting more, and you're not enjoying what you have. So then we have this little fun. I do love this bit. It reminds me of Texas a lot. She's like, riding and spinning and chewing tobacco and spit like a man. And I would like to argue that I believe that Rose is non-binary. I believe that Rose Dawson is on the queer spectrum. Who would say that? Why would you say you want to chew like a man, honey? Okay? Because you're a little trans, okay? It's fine. It's totally good, girl. Aren't we all in some ways? I'm gonna pour myself a little cup of water because I've been screaming about the Titanic. Okay. Oh my gosh. So Rose is non-binary. I've claimed it. Fight me, James Cameron. What are you going to do? And take away the sub-scenes so that we can really dig in to the unsinkable Molly Brown, who I do believe is also a lesbian, okay? The gay agenda is real and alive, and I support it. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Now she's spitting off the deck with Jack, and Mother Dearest sees this. And she don't like it because ladies don't spit, right? But Rose is non-binary, except her mommy. Anyway, and then Jack's got like spit on his mouth, which to all the younger girls and gays, hot, right? Hot. But not a good look for mommy. Not a good look for Mommy Dearest. It's not going good. But anyway, they announced the dinner like a Calvary. Like it's absolutely unnecessary. It's giving Carnival when they're like, all right, everybody, we're gonna have a show on the cruise ship, and they're like waving their napkins. It's giving that. Titanic inspired. Hello, it's still evening where I am, but good morning, Thunderwolf. We were talking about the Titanic. If anybody is just joining us and is like, what is this nonsense? Cheers. It's water. Stay hydrated because we still gotta go and we still got so much more. Anyway, Molly is like, I'm gonna help you out with this dinner because I know what it's like to be shunned by these horrible, rich, rude people, okay? I know what it's like to be shunned. So we are gonna go. I got a son, your same size. You're gonna wear his tux. You are gonna go and you're gonna wow him. You're gonna be like, I could be one of you. And they're not gonna know what to do with that. And they don't. So we need a world of Mollys that are taking the poor boys and being like, I'm gonna refine you for a woman, right? We need them. I think they occur. I think a lot of older women go with young women to be like, I'm gonna save the younger generation. I'm gonna say, I can't spare everybody, but I can spare some. And I see you and I love you, you nasty, nasty girls. Anyway, it is so long, such a long take, Mr. Cameron, of Jack in that tux. But I'm sure it might be the first time he's ever even worn a tux, now that we think about it, right? It might be a really pivotal moment of him, and him kind of trying on this rich and feeling uncomfortable with it, right? Because I think authentically, Jack doesn't mind being poor, right? He's not, in terms of like, if we're thinking about even like White Lotus season 3 and all of the kind of questions that are in there, I think he's like the son in that he is still happy poor. He was happy, he was looking at the stars, he was grateful, right? He doesn't mind. He's happy with what he has. We really need Jack's mentality in a lot of wild ways. He's a true hero. I would say Kate Winslet's performance, although I think this is the sexiest she's ever looked and ever will look, she's a little off on her acting in this movie. It kind of, you know, it's a little like the waves. I mean, Rose is very emotional too, and a very like complex character, and is clearly like kind of swinging almost in a way that is like bipolar. Like, I don't want to say like she has bipolar. It wouldn't surprise me, right? If she did, like, wouldn't surprise me if she has some sort of like, you know, hormonal problem as well. Like, cause so many women were undiagnosed then, right? There's a reason for the hysteria that's happening, right? That is, I think, also scientific and mental, not just her emotional state. But anyway, and the reason I allow it, like I said, like she's off as a character, like Rose is off, so I'll allow Kate Winslet's acting in this. I don't think either of the acting is bad. I'm just saying if we're talking about like primo, like is this Emma Stone in that Frankenstein one movie? No, right? But it's still good. It's still like, it's at the tier, right? You're in that top tier. When I think of good performances, I mean like Titanic is one of them. Titanic is circled. But it's not like creme de la creme. You know what I mean? Anyway, she sees him and he's like, oh my gosh, it's almost like you're rich. Like you could pass. Like, which I'm going to say when they make this remake and they make him like black or a person of color or like Mexican, whenever they make him, it's going to hit even more. It's going to hit even more. Anyway, they talk about John Jacob Brasher, who's the richest man on the ship. He's got a song too, which is why I wondered about John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. I guess, is he the richest person on the Titanic? Is that why we have that song? So crazy. But anyway, they talk about like his wife is in like a delicate condition, all of that. His name is my name too, right? Why does that song always make me laugh? Anyway, we've got all this kind of naughty lingerie too going on with Rose. So hot. We love it. And then, guess what, honeys? She's on Jack's arm, not her hubby's. Girl. Okay, girl. I'm doing crazy, of course, as always. To me, the amount that she's on Jack's arm and the amount of controlling that Cal is, we need an intervention scene. Like, how is he not all over her? If not, this is now then redemption points for Cal in that he's actually does allow her to have a couple of autonomy. But I do think this is also maybe a sick sexual fantasy of Cal in that Cal wants her to be, like, he gets off that she's, like, adored and hot as well, right? It's not that he trusts Jack. It's that he likes, as, like, an alpha, that he's like, they want the woman that I want, right? Like, I like that about it. Cal does not become insecure until he realizes that Rose likes it. But Cal is so secure and so, like, self-fulfilled in himself. Similar to Jack, like, Rose honestly has a type of men that are not insecure, because Jack is not insecure, and Cal is not insecure either. Cal is not even, he's not batting an eye, right? He's not worried that she's gonna go wrong for the poor boy. Why would she? Because he knows he can give her everything, right? So there's nothing, he doesn't realize that they don't have the chem. They don't have the physical, you know what I mean? They don't have the hot stuff, okay? So it's wild. Or he's so neglectful. Here's the other perspective of it, right? He's either that secure, or he absolutely is just like not paying attention, right? He's drunk off his mind on that ship. He's giving alcoholism. He's given opium addiction. I don't know what's going on in the 1912, right? I don't know. But he's given detached, right? Which it could be either or, it could be combo. But anyway, there's a lot of misdirection moments in this little bit of him on there. And you have a lot of people assuming that like Jack is new money, right? Which is kind of a compliment. But I think Jack feels weird because Jack is such a like, that's this whole thing with Rose is like, be authentic, be you, like really be who you are inside. Like it's beautiful and like I can see it. I want it. I want that. And it's fiction. Ugh. Anyway, so he's impressed because he's like, oh, there's hardly any rats out here. Let's think about that. People paid money on a ship to stay with rats. People are going into space right now to have rat feces fueled into the space air and recycled. And it's disgusting. I can't. And I live in a disgusting little home, so I can absolutely share on that. Okay. Jack turns down caviar. You're not gonna catch me doing that, but Jack does it. So he's just a humble little boy. He's just a humble boy. He talks about how he's like, you know, he's worked his way to place because he plays poker and he gets lucky hands, you know what I mean? And she's like, oh, well, and then she kind of feels, I think she like likes that he does that a little bit, but she's also like, well, my husband makes real money, right? Like he's not out playing games, right? But I think part of her was like, it would be kind of fun to just like have a silly little job. You know what I mean? Like have a little silly job that you can have fun with and like have that adventure. So she's like kind of conflicted, right? She's like, my dude is respectable and does this honor job, but there is something about her that's like, and this is why people get attracted to me too. They're like, you just sit around and do little jobs that you like and get money for it. And I'm like, yeah, I do, because life was unbearable as a child and I need to spend the rest of moments of my life getting the child that I should have got in my adulthood life and not suffer as much as possible. So I'm with Jack on this. Even though like it's a stressful life as well, probably more stressful now than it was in 1912. Probably like more cool then. So she's attracted to Jack's rootless existence, right? Super, super good. Because again, like I said, she's a bohemian. La vie bohème, all right? La vie bohème. So here we go. Jack is like, you know what? This rich party, stuffy. Honey, you wouldn't last a day in my quarters, right? So let's go meet. Let's go get her. You know what I mean? Let's go. We're going to go meet the mayor downtown. We're going to meet all of this cool stuff. We're going to show these party jigs. And she's kind of feel like she's like suffering with like because you know like she comes down all the way down the ship. It's colder there because you're colder into the water. You know, they didn't have all the fancy things like air conditioning and everything that we have now, right? Think about that. It was not a glamorous experience on the Titanic. If they brought the Titanic back today, you bet they'd be AC, you bet they'd be heaters, right? It would not be the same experience. But anyway, she like almost curses at times, right? She's starting to get back into that authentic self, and she's loving life, right? She's finding the joy in life again. Gone is depression, right? Sometimes you just gotta have fun. Sometimes we're just sad because we're not valuing relaxation enough, and we're all into the society and being proper, and what am I supposed to do, and what am I, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Sometimes you just gotta let loose and do an Irish jig with a poor boy in the bottom of a ship that's a little bit cold that you're not properly dressed for, okay? That's sometimes all you gotta do. And, this freezing is also, again, we like a little sprinkle of a foreshadowing. We love a little sprinkle. Again, they're dancing. They're getting super drunk. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when you're getting drunk with another man? I wonder. But then I'll go out with a bar with somebody and think we're just friends, and then I'll be surprised that we kiss at the end of the night. I'm like, what happened? I thought we were butts. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, she starts smoking the cigarette, and she's like, men, you know, they think they're so tough, but they're like so dumb, right? She's a little feminist. It's the 90s too. They had to sneak in those little feminism moments in there, or else the woman would be there. But then she's drunk, and her husband and Cal is like, all right, like that's enough, young lady. Like we're done here, right? You need to come home to me, right? You're getting disrespectful. You're down here with the poor people. It's not a good look, babe. That's not what I want to marry, right? That's the no hope diamond belongs in these here parts, right? No hope diamond belongs in these here parts. So he's like, you know what? You're going to follow me, and you do not behave like that again, right? The control, right? And that's the thing about Cal, right? I think with Jack, she can pull that rank. She can dom, right? And I think that's Rose is a switch in that way. She's a switch. And freaking Cal, right? He's never ever like that's the thing about my Jack. My Jack is probably more like a Cal than the actual Jack, unfortunately. But Jack doesn't mind switching to please Rose. He wants to please her. But Cal is no. You always please Cal, no matter what. It's his way or the highway. And there's something sexy in that, right? There's something sexy in that if that's what you're into. But a girl like Rose, I don't think she's into that. I don't think she's into that, honeys. So she's like, and she talks back because she's drunk, and she can finally be herself a little bit because she released her inhibitions, all right? She is releasing those inhibitions. Oh my gosh, I lost my little review. Come back, Jack. Come back. I do that sometimes in my head. Guys, we still have so many notes. But you know what? The more I go live, the better my account is. So it be what it be. It be what it be. Anyway, she stands up to Cal, right? And she's like, you can't command me. And Cal quickly, abusive, switches it, right? Boom, knocks those plates off. And is like, bet, honey, it's 1912. I can do whatever the heck I want. I'm a man. Absolute patriarchy, right? No white men can be canceled these days. Good luck. Good luck to you, honey. No policeman's gonna come because I pay him. I pay him more money. So I can knock as many plates as I want in this house. You're owned by me. You got that diamond. You got all these gifts. I already own you, right? And then again, she falls, right? She falls. So depressed. Heartbreaking, right? You ever been in a relationship like that? It's not fun. It's not fun stuff. Ah, poor Rose. This is not even a real person, and I'm like, man, she didn't deserve that. You know what I mean? She really didn't deserve. No woman deserves to have. If any man is breaking a plate around a woman to try to control or scare her, God didn't intend for that. I'm sorry. That's not in the 10 Commandments and is frankly rude. So don't do it, okay? Just stop it. Super dumb. But anyway, now we're seeing that there's an abusive relationship. And it's like, oh, gee, howdy. I wonder why she's depressed. I wonder what got that to her. Maybe she's not a spoiled brat. Maybe it's Cal. Perhaps. Oh. Bang, bang. If Jack had any sense, he would have pulled the gun out there. It would have been fine. Anyway, he's like, you need to honor me. And he's just a really messed up person, right? And obviously we don't know what Cal was probably beat, right? He's only mimicking what he was also shown, right? That's why I always feel for abusers. Like, I mean, now in this day and age, you know better. But back then, he didn't know. It was just what was done, right? And he's doing it. And it's the same thing inside. I bet you Cal was once a bohemian too that had to learn the ways of society and had to push it down and become somebody else. And how does that stuff manifest? In sheer violence. So again, the most authentic theme of this movie is to authentically be yourself. Be yourself, right? Love who you love. Anyway, there's a servant. The servant comes in, cleans all that up, right? At least that's the one thing, right? In this modern day and age, I have to clean up the mess that my abusive boyfriend left me. You know what I mean? I don't serve. I mean, I guess I hired out a maid, so there was that, I guess. But you know, that cost me money. I felt it more than her. Anyway, she cries, right? She cries when she gets her freedom, because it's so bad when you're so control. Wow, 8 years old. That's so cute. I was like 13. I was 13, and I'm diving so much deeper than I did at 13. And her mom comes in too and is like, listen, like, you're not allowed to see Jack again. Like, don't put this at jeopardy. You've got a good thing here. He's going to take care of you, right? You're going to be rich. It's going to be fine. Like, so just don't waste your time on this boy. Like, you're getting caught up in things that are just dumb. Like, you're just being dumb right now. It's the sea air. It's getting to you. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing, honey? Because they don't have any money either, because their father is gone, right? And the man at that time is the only provider. Women didn't work. They have no way to redeem it, right? The father, you know, left them debt. Like, she needs Cal also for her mom. So she's feeling also the stress of that, right? That would make me depressed too. It's on her shoulders. Man, I didn't realize I was so same as Rose. And her mom is even like having to take some work as a seamstress, right? Which feels demeaning as a rich person to have to work back then. And also, I don't think these ladies have stamina. She's old, right? They didn't have the medicines that we have. She's got probably arthritis in her hand, right? It was not easy to sew. They didn't have sewing machines back then. That's the hard stuff, right? So she's still slaving away, trying to make ends meet, trying to make them look like they're rich when they are broke, right? And that's the thing too. She's not allowed to be authentic. She can't for her family. She can't in her relationship. And with Jack, finally, that beautiful release, the mask comes down, the real vulnerability. So beautiful, right? So good. And it's just her mom doesn't really understand. It's like, what's so bad about everything, right? Like, why can't you just suck it up and do this, right? I have been asked the question too, and it's like, because you don't get it, because it's like, even if everything looks good, if I'm not allowed to be myself, I can't enjoy it. I'm just people pleasing to the end. I'm stuck, right? It's like I have all these things, but things are not the things that heal you inside, right? They can make you feel better temporarily, but if you're locked into this trap of like doing things you don't want to do, you're not you. And that's why we should fuck society. Anyway, they were like, you know what? She's like, it was fine. Like, we sold our things, other option. Our memories are scattered, you know, like, it sucks. It sucks that that's there, but she's like, I gotta do what I have to do, right? I have to do what I have to do, because you're right. Like, money, I guess money matters. But, so she doesn't let Jack into the church, and anyway, she's like, it's weird to speak during church. Like, that's just not something that's done, right? We don't converse during church. We let Jesus have his moment of silence. Like, that's what we need to do here. But Jack is like, he wants to get in. Like, he wants to talk to her. He's obsessed with her. They shared a moment, right? They're falling in love. He knows her soul. He's seen the real her, right? And he's not going to let her go. He's never going to let go, Rose. foreshadowing. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Anyway, they talk about too that, you know, they're trying to, like, I think get some weight off of the boat. So they already don't have enough lifeboats, right? We go back to the captain. There's not enough lifeboats on the sea. There's only half that is required. So they're speeding, I want to tell you, on the Titanic, right? They're doing 2 party fouls. This captain on his, like, he was on his retirement run. He was reckless, man. I have to assume that this captain was on, like, codeine or whatever, like, the 1912 version of cocaine was. Whatever kind of drugs, this captain's on them, right? He's speeding the boat. He's speeding. He's going without lifeboats. He's like, I don't know, guys. I'm not going to be a captain after this. I don't know what's going on. I'm just risking it all, baby. Woohoo! He is wilding out, you guys. He's wilding out, right? But he wanted to take the boats off because he's all about the press, too. It's all about that greed. That is the other same thing, right? He's like, it looks too cluttered in all of that. And in a way, Jack calls out Rose. He's like, you know what? You're a spoiled brat, which is, like, not good of Jack to do, right? He should have respectably, this is where I did lose some respect for him, right? Because he should have been like, you know what, Rose? Like, I respect your decision not to talk to me, but I'm going to miss you to pieces, right? Like, I thought what we had was special. And it'll always be special to me, even if we just had these moments. And I hope you consider one day, and I'll be waiting there for you forever. That's what he should have said. He should not have said spoiled brat. But he's also a poor Irishman, and he probably didn't have the emotional vocabulary. So, we're going to allow it. But it's giving Cole Sprouse energy, right? It's giving Jughead. I'm weird. I don't fit in. You know what I mean? It's giving that. And he goes to that, where he goes, you jump, I jump, right? Boom. She's hooked, right? Because they have a moment. You can't, the bonding, and maybe it's trauma bonding, but I think it's actually, like, being there for a person. You know what I mean? Being there in a person that if you get to be there for somebody who is going to, unfortunately, choose to unalive themselves, I hope that you treat that moment as a really rare piece, like a rare moment of vulnerability. Like, I really, truly hope that stays with you, because that is a special moment to be a hero. Like, I know that that's weird, and I know it's anxiety, and it's, like, stressful, and you don't want to be in those moments. And sometimes there's somebody that puts you in those moments so much that you get burnt out. But in a lot of ways, like, there is something that is, like, I don't know. Sometimes what I feel like we were put on this earth to do for each other, and that is, like, to convince each other to keep living. You know what I mean? And he's like, we can't go away from each other, because you know what? If we don't, how are we ever going to remind each other that it's all going to be all right at the end of the day? True love. And he's like, together, we're going to be fine. Nope, she was for the streets. She was for the streets. Yeah, I guess in a way, she was. She was, in a way. But anyway, the ship is also having more problems. The captain's just like, we're going to be fine. He has to be drunk and high off his ass. I'm going to be so for real with you. He's like, you know, everybody's like, we're going to be trapped. Like, a lot of people are going to be trapped with the fire. And he's like, Nah, don't worry. Don't worry about it. And they're like, hey, Mr. Captain, the fire is going to burn out. And he's like, listen, that's, like, really rude. Like, you guys, you're harshing my retirement vibe, man. Like, why is there so much negative energy? Honestly, the captain's probably like, you know what sank the ship? My crew's negative attitudes. They were just not on the high vibe like me. I was so sure it was going to work out. And then everybody came in here with all these other ifs, ands, and buts, ruining the vibe, right? They brought the devil in. They welcome in those demons of doubts. So really, was it the captain's fault? Or did he just not have enough of a type team to believe in his vision of the ship? I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot of things going on with this captain. We need to get deeper dive when they make this the inevitable limited series that it's going to be, okay? Anyway, Jack is like, Rose goes to Jack, and she's like, you know what? I appreciate you saving me, but you know what? It's not up to you to save me. Like, this is technically Cal's job, technically mine, you know what I mean? And then he does agree. He's actually, but you know what? He's like, it's not Cal's job. It is up to you at this point. You have to choose for you, right? Again, it's the echoing of the Notebook of what do you want, right? What do you want to do? Choose what you want to do, not what everybody else wants to do, which I think is the hardest thing to do as a woman, right? I think that's why we and women are just in always the craziest situations, right? We don't have what men are allowed to have, which is the ability to be authentically themselves. But even then, Cal's struggling with that. Even then, men don't have it always in the same things, right? But women have it, I think, lesser so, and definitely in 1912, right? Where she doesn't know what she wants because she's never even given the option to consider what she wants, right? It takes time to decide that. It takes time. Thank you so much for the follow. I'll be speaking truth on this live. I can feel it. Anyway, you got all of these ashes in the background, you know, this phoenix kind of being reborn, right? And this chatter and this dread of like, she's like, I'm gonna fade out. Like, I'm gonna fade out. Like, his words are echoing in the head. He got to her, right? In terms of motivational speaking and charisma, the Riz, Jack's got it, right? Jack's got that Riz, all right? He's got it. The shush that he does in this scene, though, is really dumb. It is really, really, really dumb. And it's rude. Because she just, you know what I mean? Like, she wants to fight him on his advice, but you can see, because she knows it's so true. So she's, like, so conflicted, right? And what a hard rock to be on, right? And you're stuck on the ship with, like, your two love, right? It's not like she can be like, okay, bye, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I guess they had separate sections of the ship, but she's going to run into him because he's crazy obsessed with her, right? So he's going out of his way to go find her and be relevant because in some ways, too, she's his only hope for a better life, right? He's content with life, or he was before he saw Rose and fell in love and was like, gotta have her, gotta have that. I'm not going to be happy without her. I gotta have my happiness because I value happiness and living in the moment. But Rose is in a position of like, I either give up what my mother is counting on, what I've been counting on, what I promised somebody, what somebody has threatened me physically if I do not deliver to them. Like, Rose is in a really, really hard position. Of course, she's having an emotional friggin' breakdown. What kind of choice can she make? Either choice kind of sucks a little bit, right? Jack has only up to go. Cal is only up to go. Rose, either way, is making a sacrifice. Aren't all women the same? Don't we all suffer in that same way, right? But at least the sunset is beautiful, isn't it, in the movie? Anyway, she's holding onto the rail, and that is making her feel more confident. And so she's not going to slip anymore. And now, after this conversation, kind of after the second big blow up, they have trust between each other. She trusts him, right? So they're having this little moment. They make up maybe a little too fast after that scene, but it's true love, so we'll allow it. Okay, we'll allow it. You have this beautiful, beautiful shot where she opens her eyes, she's spread out, and she goes like, I'm flying, right? She does that little thing. It's so cute. It should be so dumb, right? It's dumb when he does, I'm king of the world, but when she does, I'm flying, my heart is melted. I realize how gay I am. I'm like, what? Like, don't we all want the whimsy of girlhood in the same way to feel like we're flying? It's so dumb, but it's just a metaphor. It's a metaphor for the way that Jack makes her feel. Like, he makes her feel like she's soaring. I'm not gonna cry. But of course they kiss, right? Of course they kiss. He makes her feel like she's soaring. Of course you're gonna kiss a guy that makes you feel like that, right? That's why some men are insecure. He's like, what if you meet the guy that makes you feel like you're gonna soar, right? And I can't make you feel like the soar. So men always strive to make your woman feel like they're soaring. If your woman's not saying, I'm flying, get it together, okay? Anyway, the captain, here he is. He's like, don't worry, guys. Don't worry. You know what? If we see anything big, we're just gonna have time to turn. Don't worry. You guys, you're harsh in the mellow of the Titanic, bruh. Like, can you guys just believe? Can you guys just believe that the ship is going to work out? He just had too many naysayers. That's how I felt my own company, right? It was like, no, listen, it's going to be fine. I know it seems delulu, but I actually did think these steps out. But no, everybody puts in those seeds of doubts. The demons of this, you know what I mean? It really, his crew failed him. I'm honestly, I think I'm for this captain. I'm deep diving on this captain's character level. He is honestly pretty good. But everybody else is having that growing doom, right? There's a lingering sense of doom. And also, we know this in the relationship too, right? Of course, it's this big euphoric moment, but there's a reality of the situation happening about this, right? There's a reality here on the other side of love, right? Say with me and my own Canadian boy, right? I'm like euphoric because it seems like a really awesome situation, but here I am in the reality of my bedroom on the floor in my messy apartment in California, right? Like alone. You know what I mean? Like the euphoria, reality. Very, very real things, timeless concepts. Yeah. I'm helping a lot for this Titanic. I don't know what people are jealous. Hi, future mod Gooder. We're talking about the Titanic tonight. Anyway, they have a Monet randomly at the Titanic. Imagine, that Monet is lost forever now, you guys. So that kills me inside as an art lover. Kills me. Anyway, Rose kind of goes like, let's make art time sexy, right? Let's make art time sexy. Gunnar, you're 16, so maybe, I don't know. We're talking about the Titanic, and it is going to be the sex scene, so plug your eyes and ears, okay? Like, you are a minor. Okay? And she's like, would you make me an art? Like, I'll pay you actually. So I'm not even doing it like you're gonna do it a favor and like I know we kissed and we're like, you know, kind of like a thing right now. I'm actually gonna pay you. I'm pulling rank. I'm doming, right? I'm pulling that rank. I I'm gonna make it proper. Like, cause you deserve to be compensated for your work. We love a rich person supporting an artist, right? Look at all the rich people that exploit, right? You could be like Rose. You could be. I also think to Rose, the money makes it sexy. The money makes it sexy. I got some water. Don't worry. Don't worry. But I'm never gonna calm down. I'm never gonna calm down about the Titanic. Only hype. Only hype. Okay. You don't understand what's at stake. People die. People die on this ship. I will go down with the ship. Somebody needs to make that edit. That would be really, really funny. Anyway, she's like, I have to make it proper because I want my art to look like how I want it, right? Again, little switch, right? Also, can we talk about the press called Kate Winslet fat in this movie? Boop, boop, boop. That's what I want to do, the 90s press. If you were the 90s press and you called Kate Winslet fat during this movie, meet me in the parking lot near my apartment. There used to be an old stuffed sandwich there. I'm going to knife fight you out in that lot, okay? You suck. You suck, suckity, suck. What is wrong with you? She was gorgeous. She was gorgeous. Kate Winslet, on the behalf of the 90s press, that I will, in fact, go on a murder spree for you for, I'm sorry. I'm absolutely sorry. Guys, I hope you know that was comedy. I really don't think I can murder anybody. But I have the passionate urge to. Do you know what I mean? Because absolutely unnecessary. Why? And even if she's 1912, right? She's a rich girl in 1912. She was probably eating a lot of plums and she could be thick. Like, don't erase fat people from history. Like, why? Let them be plump. Let them live. Let them live. You want the skinny dynamic of Jack being so skinny and starved and Rose being good, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit more gaunt than she normally is, but like, what? Insane. Anyway, Jack tells her how to pose, right? And he's super awkward in the scene, but it's kind of enduring and cute. Super, super cute. And then he's like, okay, you got to keep your eyes on me. So you make an eye contact, right? We know what's going to happen. You guys, we know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. If you recreate this, it will end the same way that it ends at the Titanic. Every time. You cannot. This is the seeds for success, right? So he goes, stay still, right? Now he's giving a command, right? Now he's switching. Right? But with Cal, she can't ever, right? Cal always has to be here and she has to be here. But in their little sexual relationship, they can do this, which is fun. It's so much more fun to be on a seesaw, right? It's so much more fun. Anyway, Tata's out for the sketchbook. That is going to be later broadcasted to the world in the early 2000s. It's fine. It's all fine. We don't see him sketching in real time. And I will say, even though there was so much juicy tension, they didn't do it. They didn't do the nasty. Then we're going back to the old woman. You know what I mean? She's got to pause at this moment, right? She's got to pause at the nudie picture. You didn't watch the uncut version? I think I did. But anyway, she has to pause because I think she's probably reminiscing, because that's the thing too, is like, she only got a couple of woo-woos in there. You guys, with Jack, right? So she probably stops at this moment and is like, dang, like, I didn't even realize until reflecting, like, I could have woo-wooed him here and I didn't get the chance to. And like, devastating grief, right? I'm thinking about that too, even in terms of like, in a lesser way of like me in Canada, right? There's so much like time that I wish I had spent differently that I cannot get back now because of the choices I made. And she's feeling the same way in her reflection. I think a lot of people in that age bracket do. Then you got the captain over here. He's like, okay, like, we got to the spicy scene. I'm getting a hot toddy. Like, I'm hot toddying out. So she got cold. And she realizes that, like, she has to hide Jack, right? Because no one can know, which is also making this, like, absolutely, like, super sexy for her, too, because she's not caught yet. Like, she doesn't have to face the realities of her life. So she's in this beautiful euphoria, right? And she just wants to ride it out, because that reality has her depressed, right? But if she can live in this euphoria for at least a brief moment, it's heaven. And maybe if she can get enough of the heaven, she can survive the HE double hockey sticks, okay? She can survive it. So she's hiding him. They're running through the ship from the bodyguard. Again, you got to have that action in every couple pages. That's just the way Studio Hollywood works. They end up, like, when they get to the elevator, though, this bodyguard kind of sucks, low key. Like, he's already sabotaging, like, the captain of the ship, too. Because he's just hanging out of the elevator, and he just stares when she flips him off. Like, what kind of guard? You didn't even, like, wrestle the elevator. Like, you literally, I mean, I feel like James Cameron was probably, like, be very precious with my set. You know what I mean? This is a gorgeous set that I'm going to, like, live in forever or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, she flips him off, right? So she's acting like, but she's getting wild. She's crashing out euphoria. You know what I mean? She's in there. Rose is living it, loving it, feeling it. Okay. So they go below deck. You know what I'm saying? Another metaphor. They're gonna get busted. Yeah, something's gonna get busted. A nut. You know what I mean? Anyway, they're laughing, they're having a jolly old time. They love it. There's freedom. She's being bad for the first time in her life. She's not gonna have any consequences, she think, right? Like, this is the moment she can enjoy it. She can really, 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 really live. But then she comes down, and you're seeing all these, meanwhile, they're having their little fancy rich thing, right? And there's like these coal people slaving in the Titanic. Like, what are the working conditions? It's 1912. It's not good, honey. It's not good at all. On the watch that I made of it, because I've seen the Titanic like an ungodly amount of times, okay? An ungodly. I could have probably been more rich if I did not take the time to watch the 2 hours and 30 minutes of this movie. I think it's like 4 hours maybe. But I appreciated a lot of the historical information on this watch. About like the cargo coming in and like that it was not just a ship of like luxurious people, right? There were resources in the ship. We took a hit to the economy with the Titanic crashing, right? You don't think about that. All right? But it's such an important part of the relationship where they can just have fun and be silly, right? He makes her feel like a kid. He makes her feel like she's flying, okay? Flying. And then I love the little silly miss where he's like, toot toot on the little, car that's there. And he's like, where to, miss? To the stars. What? Take her to the stars? She wants to go to the stars? Who just says that? Who doesn't say that with a heart full of whimsy, right? That girl was going to throw herself off the ship, and then she wants a man to take her to the stars. She learned to love life. And we're only like an hour into the movie, fam. We're only like an hour into the movie. Oh my gosh, the steamy hand is too much, but that is also, this is the scene, right? That's the scene on my shirt. Slurpity slurp. Okay, every time I am in the shower and there's steam, or I'm in a steam room, or I see a handprint in the window, or anytime there's a foggy window, I think of the scene. Right? So you have the bigger space of her being off the ship in my brain, and you have a little tiny space that sometimes the scene pops up as well. I can't imagine filming this scene as an actor, right? Hot, sweaty car, sex scene where you're breathing on each other. So awkward, right? So awkward. Like, did they two different, like, you know what I mean? Like, what? It had to be weird. If that's even Leonardo DiCaprio's hand, you know what I mean? They probably got a hand double for that. But even as strange, like, those are weird scenes. I've been in like a couple of like orgy background scenes for like television. Like, it is like, it's honestly, it's not weird when you're doing it, but when you think about it later, you're like, oh, this was maybe strange. You know what I mean? Maybe so strange. Again, they are so sweaty. They're so sweaty for a ship that is cold in the ocean and about to run into an iceberg, I would like to say. Yeah. So Cal then finds the nudie pic, right, that is drawn. And maybe for a second, he's like, oh, she did this for me, right? But then he realizes, like, he saw her, right? And I haven't seen her like that. And he got an experience before I did. And you know Cal, he doesn't like that stuff. It's got to be him first, which is really sad. That is honestly, now that I'm saying this out loud, it's giving more of my Jack in Canada, and that Cal is giving more of Jack in Canada energy than Jack is giving for the Jack in Canada energy, which is really, really sad. But anyway, we're gonna get through this review, you guys. We're gonna get through this. So he's going to rip it up, right? Cal is like so upset he's gonna rip it up, but the nude's too fire. He can't do it, honey. So he puts it in the safe, right? He's gonna save that for the spank bank. He can't get rid of it. What the heck you think he is? This man is so sexually repressed. He's got to take what he can get, right? And to him, and legally in 1912, she is his property, right? So even on paper, that's his property, right? Even though she bought it for herself, he owns it. And it's also the same in a weird way, like they owned it on the television too, right? She has no ownership of her own body. So think about that the next time you break up with a girl and you don't delete her nudes. I will find you and I will hunt you down. Okay? Yes. So they get out because they have a lot of people like trying to come in, view that car. I don't know what they're going to do with the car in the Titanic. I don't know. I guess they're going to drive it off the ship eventually, or maybe they're going to drive it around the ship. It's a huge ship. But anyway, they get out in time so no one busted them, even though they are busted, essentially. Like, it doesn't matter. Because there's no way a man like Cal is going to be like, you didn't do anything, right? And she also knows she did do something. She can't hide it. Like, it's too late. So anyway, she goes to Jack and she's like, you know what? Like, I don't care. When the ship jocks, I'm getting up with you. Like, I'm getting off with you. We're going to figure it out. And It doesn't make any sense. To be fair, she probably has woo-woo brain, right? She probably CUM'd. Like, she's having a moment. She's having a moment. And, it doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of practicality. Like, I am severely worried about her. Like, it's one thing that Jack has covered his own travel and stuff, but it's another thing to bring a lady into it, right? Like, it's another thing to bring a lady. Like, can he support both him and her? I don't know, Rose. That's a big bank. Like, just because you're attracted to his artistic soul, you know what I mean? Can he provide for you? Like, but I also, Cal isn't it either, right? Cal is not a safe space to be. So I get that maybe that risk is a better take for her than Cal's risk, right? It's such an interesting thing to be like, practicality means nothing if you don't feel safe. You know what I mean? Like, sure, you can have all these materialistic things, but if you don't feel comfortable to be able to shed your skin, to demask, to be yourself, it doesn't matter, does it? It don't matter at all, homie. Anyway, it's a lot, right? Why should she trust that? Why should she trust this instinct? But honestly, girl, go for it, honey. I'm with you. Yes. Let's live it. Let's live in the risk, right? YOLO, right? Like, you're a bohemian, la vie boheme, right? You can plan it all out. You can figure that out whenever. Yes, we'll live in regret that we don't have our crap together. But you know what? We had fun not having our crap together, and we were having less fun trying to get our crap together. So think about that next time you're trying to get your crap together, right? And then the people who don't have their crap together will feel less bad about not having their crap together because we're all just living chaotically. Anyway, that's my dream world as an idealist. JK. I know order makes sense in some ways. We need better transitions to the crew, James Cameron, but you already made the movie. It's too late to change it. But in terms of when we go back to, making this like a series. Anyway, so the phone rings. They have to pick it up, and he's like, hey, guys, hey, like, you know what we said before, Captain? You did not account for the iceberg. And the captain's like, iceberg lettuce? Like, what you mean, homie? Like, I'm vibing. I'm Jimmy buffing this cruise. This isn't Margaritaville? Like, what? What do you mean? And he's like, yeah, so we're going so fast, we need to slow down quickly and turn because there's an iceberg. And we're heading straight for the center. So just so you know, like, we're kind of, like, a thing is happening that's not so good. I love this. Because also in my life, a huge amount of ice is the villain. Like, that is what is going to kill me, is the cold. And in the Titanic, the iceberg is the villain as well. And Cal is also, like, kind of like, the iceberg is like a symbolism for Cal because he's also cold, right? He's also cold. You get it? It's like, there's beautiful, beautiful metaphors in this movie. They untracked poetry, okay? But anyway, the ship hits that iceberg. And it's ugly, fam. That ship shook, okay? There was no way making an iceberg hit pretty. I know you might think it's pretty because sometimes in the freezer when the ice cubes fall out on the floor, there's a moment where I'm like, oh, the poetry of the moment. It's beautiful, right? But no, this was not that. This was ugly, right? Water instantly starts flooding in under doors, right? Shipboards, light up, right? Not enough boats. The worst is going to happen, right? He was too cocky. That Icarus captain flew too close, not to the sun, but to the iceberg. To the iceberg, okay? Tell him the times, right? I also, maybe he didn't have enough manifesting back power. He did not make all the right sacrifices. I don't know what happened there, but he blew it. He blew it. And he's keeping it chill. He's like, just tell everybody not to worry. I'm going to be retired, so I don't really care. You know what I mean? I'm basically dead after this, because what am I going to do with my life? The captain is honestly, maybe arguably suicidal, man. He's not all right. Not all right. You see all the rats running, and you see the people following the rats. Never a good sign. Never a good sign, right? People are lying. People are getting out of control now because clearly something's wrong because the ship shook, okay? And these are rich people, and they don't like to have things trifled with, okay? Everything has to be orderly. They paid a lot of money. They're rich, right? And they're very important. So they cannot not be on the ship, right? Anyway, the rich are going to just be told, like, basically like that. There's no emergency, right? They're going to get off. But the other people are all basically, like, being robbed, right? Oh, yeah. And Cal tries to say, too, that Jack robbed him, too, so that he can get that guy in trouble, right? Get him in the brig. So flooding underwater is so bad. Honestly makes me so nervous. Like, I think, though, if I was going to go, a flood would be preferable. Because I actually do like water. And I like taking a bath. But anyway, they plant the Hope Diamond on Jack's jacket. R.I.P. son. They say that like something serious has happened. You know, they disappeared. They search him, and Jack's like, please don't believe it, right? Because that's the thing. Rose doesn't know. So Rose maybe even thinks that he stole from her, right? He thinks that like that it was all betrayal, and like she just slept with him too. Like absolutely crushing for Rose, right? I'm worried about her. Is she gonna throw herself off the ship now? Like that is dark, right? And Cal, what a manipulative genius also, by the way, to plan it this way. Like that's how you know he's a real killer, right? You know he's a real killer. That he could be like, I'm not only going to get the girl, I'm also gonna break her heart. Like I'm gonna end this so hard right now. I'm gonna end it so hard there's no recovering. And Jack's like, don't believe it, Rose. Like, and the acting of Leo is really, really good in this scene of like, that he's gaslighting her. He's straight up gaslighting her. You know what I mean? He's like, it's not even my jacket. You know what I mean? And he's like, because it was Cal's jacket, and he's like, I know, that's why I reported it, and it's stolen, and it's like, and now we have to return it, right? And again, I'm saying this is going to be so powerful in the remake when it's played by a person of color. Like, it's going to resonate. It's going to resonate, right? But also, the Irish were treated kind of back then. Like, I think we forget that there are poor white people. Like, that racism has existed even, like, for Italians. Like, I don't know. The Europeans are on something, y'all. They're on something. Anyway, they gotta stay afloat. There's like 4 compartments, no longer 5. They're trying to pump by time. They've got sinks made of iron. They have 2 hours. 2 hours countdown, all right? For the ship's going down. Then we'll go down with the ship, okay? 2,200 people on board. I don't even have that many likes on this TikTok, you guys. I don't even have that many likes on this TikTok. 2,200 people on board, okay? He's getting his headline. But it's not the headline he wanted, right? That's the dangerous thing about chasing fame, all right? You think it's going to come one way, but it doesn't come the way that you want. It never, ever does. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm not, though. Anyway, time for disc 2. Disc 2, you guys. Disc 2. We see Cal slapping Rose, right? Dramatic hit. Oof. So like you saw the flaps, it was seen, right? It was a rough hit. I get triggered every time I think about him smacking Rose. Sorry, Mr. Milo moved my tripod because he wants to come here. He's like, oh, that woman got hit? I love to support it. Yes, Mr. Milo's crazy in that way. He's on the nip too long, you guys. Anyway, the guy that built the ship, they're talking with him like, hey man, like, what do you want to do? Because it's your ship's toast now. He's like giving blonde headmaster vibes for sure. And then we've got Jack chained in handcuffs to a sinking ship, which is like, maybe, I would say, in terms of drowning in handcuffs, while maybe a hot fantasy, in reality, not amazing. Not amazing, okay? Not the best. Not loving that. Not loving it. Not loving it at all. Anyway, so the musicians, they gotta keep the vibes up, right? Because this captain is all about vibes. He's giving Grateful Dead 60s, okay? He's giving like, let's just keep it light, you guys. Let's just keep it good. So he's like, hey, yo, musicians, can you play like cheery music? Like drop that beat, right? Drop the beat. Which is like kind of psychologically sick. Like I wonder too if all these people who heard the cheery music on the Titanic are like now gonna hear like happy music and be like triggered, like PTSD flashback in the moment when there's a happy song. And then when there's a sad song, you know, like be like, okay. But anyway, they don't want the people to panic, you know, and he's thinking too, he's like, let's just let their final moments be happy, which is like so kind of like psychopathic in a way, but also like kind of sincere. I don't know how I feel about that. Very, very complex. Obviously never would want to be in that same situation as a leader. But anyway, they don't want him to panic, right? Because as soon as you start panicking, people are throwing each other overboards, right? Things are getting broke. Like chaos is happening, okay? So the boats are all overstuffed. They're sending flares for help. Everything is getting so bad, right? Their boats are all so far away, right? Their better half is not going to die. So the rich people are going to survive, right? Because they have money, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. Darwin messed it all up for all of us, okay? Super, super sex. And then Rose is supposed to go on the boat. Honestly, I love this moment for her. She's absolutely stupid. Maybe Jack would have survived without her. Probably not. But I really do think that there's something in her that she jumps back to the ship, right? Like it's so, like I don't know a lot of women that would do the same. I really don't in terms of crisis. Like Rose a real one. Rose is a real one. Such a great character. Would be a privilege to play. I will never get it. Because if Kate Winslet is too fat, who am I? But gosh, golly. She goes back and she's going to go look for Jack. We love it. Inspiring. Anyway, the door is like literally almost all underwater. Jack's there. he's like, they're telling servants life hacks, right? The lights are going out. She kisses him. Kind of not the time, girly. Kind of not the time, unfortunately. Like, you do need to focus on saving him, like, low key, you know, like, kind of the time for romance. But I guess when, you know, sugar, we're going down swinging, you know, that's what's happening here. So, anyway, she's like figuring it out. They're trying to save themselves from the water. The water's still so cold, right? So that's the other thing you got to think about, like, when Jack dies, right? He was in that water longer than Rose, right? So there's more cold exposure. He's already been weaker, right? He's already been weakened at this point. He probably also, he hasn't had as much decent meals as she has. He hasn't been taken care of, right? So you got to think about that when we come to the big controversial ending. I know. I can't even, it's going to be a whole friggin' thing. I'm imagining too, like, so I don't know if you know this, when you do acting stuff in water, SAG-AFTRA rules, I don't know if they always follow this, but SAG-AFTRA rules is that your water actually has to be 85 degrees. Like, it can't be cold water. So they really have to act that it's cold. So they're saving self in the water. No one is helping. They're asking for help. No one comes, right? It starts getting creepy with the lights flickering. Not amazing, not amazing. She has to go get a hatchet. We love to see a girl bossing. This live is about the Titanic movie review, okay? We're getting towards the end here, all right? She has to use a hatchet. She has to not miss and disfigure him, right? I would have not done it. It would have not been good, okay? It would have not been good. She, like, literally closes her eyes at one point. It's, like, the thinnest line, too, to get it. I'm not pregnant. I'm just chonky. Okay, you guys? Anyway, she has the hatchet. She literally closes her eyes. She could have cut his fingers off, but he's fine. They celebrate. But they don't have a lot of time because flooded electricity, lots of water rushing. The servant gate is messed up. It's locked, right? Which is so messed up. So messed up. Oh my gosh. You guys are sweet. It's okay. Thank you for defending me. Oh my gosh. You guys are sweet. It's okay. Thank you for defending me. Maybe there are more Jacks in the live than I realized. You guys gonna save me from the sinking ship? So sweet of you. Anyway. Everything's getting chaotic, right? They're rushing to the chaos. There's all of these humans, right? Because they just are, like, sacrificing a bunch of people at this point. Like, they're just killing a bunch of the poor people, servants that literally just work for the rich. Like, horrible, right? Like, not so good. And Rose is like, I'm not going without you. Like, I'm not going on a boat. I'm not going without you. You're coming. You jump, I jump. You jump, I jump. We see these sad thing of, like, all these men saying goodbye to their children they're never going to see again. I'm fine. It's fine. You got all the classism. You have the women. I'm actually glad that they at least prioritized boarding the women and the children. But also that was the big point of a lot of migrations like this, is like they needed the women over there literally for procreation purposes. We'll get on those coffin girls at one point, you guys. I cannot wait to talk about the coffin girls because I love them. And Jack is like, I'll be fine. Liar! You liar! You sit on the throne of lies. You're a liar. And Cal's trying to, like, make an arrangement for her, but she doesn't want to need it, right? No one is getting spot. A lot of people are, like, staying at the door. The captain stays at one point, and he keeps, when she comes back and jumps off the boat for a second time, right? Second time, and Jack is like, he loves her, but she also thinks she's so stupid. He's, like, kissing her. He's like, you're so stupid. Why did you do that? And she's like, you jump, I jump. I can't live in a world without you. Which I think is, it's crazy. But it is love. And maybe there's a more mature love that isn't like as Romeo and Juliet as that. You know what I mean? Of like, we both must die because I cannot be without you. Maybe true love is like, even without you, I will do the best to honor your legacy and create a space that is worth living. Maybe that is the truest love. But girlie, I'm probably with her. Where it's like, I'm gonna live in a world without you? Like, no, I don't think so. Like, I gotta be with my pally wallies. Like, what the heck? No. I'm not going to go sit there alone. Together or nothing. But she couldn't go. They're like, we're going to think of something. We love high-minded optimism, right? Crazy. So then, you know, we've got rich guys that are shaking. They're pulling out their guns. Of course, right? Cal's going to shoot him. Right? Which is crazy that also it took this long in the storyline for Cal to shoot him. I think, like, honestly, the way the 1912s were truly run, Cal would have shot him. They didn't need the police to say the whole stolen thing. Like, he would have shot him. But I think the reason he didn't then is because he still needs Rose to idolize him, right? He still needs Rose to come around to him so that he can, like, get up in there. You know what I mean? That's what he wants. But, sorry, I lost my place for a second. Anyway, they're going down the water. Unfortunately, Cal is out of bullets. He's creating more different places filling water. He's just created a bunch of bullet holes in the ship. Thanks a lot, Cal. Really genius move, right? And the different places filled with water are giving very subliminal spaces. Like, they're honestly kind of beautiful even. And he was really stupid. He realizes when he gets into the boat, Cal, that he put the diamond that could have made him a lot of money in the coat on Rose, right? So she has it. She has the diamond in that coat, which is also amazing in the way that the ship goes, that the diamond did not fall out of that coat. You know how many times I've lost my wallet out of my coat pocket? I mean, I don't know what kind of coat pockets were happening in 1912, but they certainly are being made in the 2000s, all right? Like, I don't know what's happening. Anyway, the dining room is floating. There's kids standing saying like that, you know, like, don't leave me, Dad. Like, super, super sad, right? And, you know, you can't even think. You're just going on your knees in a traumatic situation like this. You know, there's guys taking their kids and like getting on the show, yelling, you know. So Cal, you know, grabs that kid and like pretends it's his son, right? Pretends it's his son is so weird. One, also like creepy. Okay, pedo, you know what I mean? Like, what is going on? So bad. Anyway, if anybody says like the wrong way, all these people are gonna drown. So super, super stressful times. People, I mean, there's millions of servants locked behind a gate. They didn't even let him try out there. They literally let him drown in the most like horrific way. It's giving Old Testament, okay? It's giving Old Testament, and I don't love it. You've got men that are helping, but then they almost like leave, right? There are people that help and get that out of the gate, but there's also people that are leaving. Oh, thank you so much. I don't have the schooling to be a journalist, unfortunately, but I do make documentaries, so kind of good in that. But anyway, they drop the keys at one point. They like bounce, which is not great. They're breaking some of the limited boats. Like, guys, it's humans like are like the stupidest in an emergency. Nobody's like, hey, let's all behave rationally and calmly. Everybody's like, we're all gonna die. You know what I mean? It's never like, you know, like, okay, let's step into problem solving. It's only like worse, which is just like, I think panic, right? It's like part of it is biological survival instinct, but that's what's happening here. And anyway, like I said, Cal uses a child to get on. He's fine. He's still trying to shot, you know, he's trying to get Jack shot. He doesn't want any of that. He doesn't want any of that happening. You know, he's mad at this man. And you got the captain that's just staring. You know what I mean? You got the guy who made this ship just staring into space too, you know, and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't build a strong enough ship. Bruh, this captain was on a gosh darn bender celebrating his retirement, all right? I don't think it was all you, honey. I think you made the ship fine. You just can't run into an iceberg. Like, how can you even predict? You can't, like, in the 1912s, it's not like, let's proto-test an iceberg like the billionaires would do today. You know what I mean? Like, you can't even makeshift make an iceberg to see how your ship would hold up. It is literally not the guy who built the ship's fault. A person interviewed on Discovery Channel, like, it speaks so detailed. I know, I'm insanely autistic. That's the problem. Insanely too upset the Titanic. Then we have the very, very heartstringing moment of the musicians that saying goodbye, that tug on the heartstrings with this. Oh my gosh, so good. The goodbye, and they like, it's just like we keep saying goodbye, we come back again to say more goodbyes. Like, it's a never-ending cycle of this. We probably could have cut 10 minutes of all of this. The captain decides to die on the ship. I mean, he was retiring anyway. I think he was on a death with. That I'm making also canon as well. The guy who built the ship dies, right? They're holding on the fire. There's like a couple couples going together. There's so many times Rose could have gone. She's not going without him, right? You have mom telling kids on the stories to like calm them down on the boat. It's just absolute chaos, right? There's brilliance of all of these amazing paintings. A Monet underwater. It's killing me, right? It's washed away. Okay. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's gone already. Things don't matter. Oh, to be an extra on the Titanic as well. Missed opportunity. To have been an extra, just screaming on that ship, wish I could have been there. Give it up for the background actors, guys. Would have been so fun. The boat tips over, which haunts my nightmares, the way that it tips over. Bruh, you're trying, at this point, it's like everybody's trying to like, almost like kill themselves in the fight to like remain alive, right? Like at that point on the boat, it's like so insane. There's people fighting, right, for space. It's just absolute man. Lord of the Flies, it's giving, right? I could also just see at a certain point on the boat, like, I don't know that I would have fought for my life the minute it goes and, like, sinks into that tip like that, the minute it's, like, you know, battleship, like, no, what? Like, I think I would just be like, both gonna die together, so, like, dope. Like, let's talk about something fun, right? Like, let's pass this time in a nice way. So I'm not thinking about how the ship literally like went, you know what I mean? I don't want to think about that ever again. But anyway, and then you have it gets even worse. Like the windows start getting sucked in. No, no, I don't think so. Let me go. Parts are falling on people. Hard no. I do not want to survive any natural disasters, you guys. I'm so good. Lifeboats are being knocked off on a way. People are getting sunken in. Boom, 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 right? No, it's not good. It's not a good time to be on the Titanic. So anybody's like, I wish I could have been on the crash. Like, would have been a little fun roller coaster. I think not, me lady. I think not, okay? Not so good. It's not going so great. It's a gosh darn disaster. Like, just absolute horror film situation, right? Horror film. I honestly think James Cameron could have played into this more. He could have made it absolutely even more horrible, right? You're in all of these people crowded together to fighting for space. Horrible, right? People are walking faster, right? The water is flowing through the hallways. It's also so cool. People are jumping off. You have like 9/11 happening in a way. It's so sad. Lights are still on somehow. Lights are still on. You can see your breath. You've got priests praying. Absolute apocalypse syndrome, okay? It's so crazy, right? You've got mother and children and other women being allowed on boats. You know what? And where they first met, poor Jack and Rose, is also where they are going to die, right? At the tip of that ship. So sad. You got all these bodies that are floating in the water, absolutely lifeless. It's shattering, right? Everyone's shuddering. People are like sliding down around. It's horrific. People are falling down, hitting the propeller, right? Decapitation. Horrible. People are watching others scream. It's so sad. Just like internal chills just stirring this. Like, it's horrific. I mean, this really happened, right? This probably happens to a lot of crash ships that we talk about the Titanic, but we don't talk about probably so many other ships that this happened to in a lot of ways. And they fall from a great height at a great night, okay? Absolutely wrecked. You want to talk about pollution, right? We're blaming the billionaires. We need to talk about the Titanic that polluted our ocean, right? It ain't the oil spills, honey. It's the Titanic and all the dead bodies, right? Who knows what aliens munched and crunched on those in the ocean, okay? Who knows about all that? Who knows? That's why we got anglerfish, is because they were nomming on the bodies of the Titanic, okay? The bodies falling, absolutely haunting. I'm going to review that 9/11 movie too, and I am not ready. I need to watch it with a person. You're just watching people fall, right, to their death. It's horrible. The icy breath, awful. There is a theory that Jack is a figment of Rose's imagination the whole time, right? So this is like one of the canon theories of that, like, Jack never existed, and that Rose is just like so mentally delulu. Because obviously she was, I mean, you should jump off a boat. Mental health is not great. That she's so mentally delulu, she like crafted this, right? And maybe Cal is shooting at her because she's being crazy, or maybe Cal's never even shot at all. She's just making up this fantasy, right? In some ways, because there's no record of Jack, obviously, because he got onto the boat, right? Through a poker game at the last second, right? In some ways, the story feels so far-fetched that it feels like maybe she did create like a delusional self to help her. Like, Jack is honestly a part of her. I kind of believe this ending of the Titanic, in all full disclosure, right? And when she is brave enough to survive the ship on her own, right? Survive something so tough, right? Because nothing's going to be tougher than surviving the Titanic in the way that she did, right? She doesn't need the delusion of Jack anymore. So she can finally let go. Even though she says, I'll never let go, Jack, right? Like, I'll never let go to the part of myself that learned to fight for my own life. You know what I mean? I'll never let go in that way. But she can let go of, like, she doesn't need him. She just needs herself in a way. This is 90s feminism in a way. So good. People can't even find people. You know, you have all the search boats coming in. People are yelling, right? You could be deaf too with all the coldness in your ear, with all the water loggingness of it, and just like it freezing it cold shut, you know, with the ice in it. I mean, it's chaos. It's just one horrible nightmare after another. You think the abusive relationship with Cal is bad, and then you are here at the Titanic. You have people that are like holding heads on and like drowning people to use them as like body floats. I mean, just horrible human cruelty. You have people like punching people for space, you know, like killing people like for space in the boat. It's not good. And to swim in this, like, these waves have to be so high. Okay, here's the thing. Mythbusters proved it. I feel like they didn't really go into the waves of the ocean though, right? Because they're like, oh, the door's big enough. But are we talking about like the unevenness of the door in the waves, right? Like imagine trying to balance on a surfboard with two people with unskilled training, right? Like I don't think it was possible that both of them can be on there. And I do go with my theory that Jack is a figment of the imagination the entire time, right? I don't think he is a real person. I think that Rose created him to save herself in a weird way. But anyway, she does that whistle, which is so iconic, and the help, you know what I mean? The little shaky voice. I really love to do it. The boats come back around. It's so cold. People are trying to swamp the boat, you know, but they let all those people die. I don't care about them. They pour. That's their assumption. It's awful, awful. And I mean, at that point, after surviving this, you're a different person, right? You're a different person. Like, there's no way you can come out of a tragedy like that the same, right? They want to, like, Molly Brown is, like, trying to tell somebody to, like, push this one guy off. Which I'm like, at that point, he was so annoying. Especially, like, he tells Molly Brown to shut it. Like, so dumb. I love the unsinkable Molly Brown. She is truly unsinkable. You know, other people even came in. Like, Rose was not the only survivor. Like, it could be done, right? And maybe part of her is, like, I think in the best way that maybe would have made for their survival is that they should have kept switching on and off. And maybe that would have, like, sunk. I don't know how fragile really this door frame is. It's, like, broken, obviously. But maybe if they had been, like, taking turns rotating through the ice, it would have been better. I don't know. That's my other pitch than way that both of them could have survived. But oh, the ice in their hair, right? And they're pale blue. They are literally, like, freezing to death. It's so cold in that water, right? And they don't want to say goodbye. And Jack makes a prophecy. Or maybe it's her talking to herself, right? Creating a manifestation vision that she goes to live. He's like, no, you're going to die an old lady. You're not going to die here, even though she weirdly does. She does weirdly die back by the Titanic because she's in the boat when she passes. She's like, you're going to go out. He's like, you're going to go out. You're going to have babies, right? You're going to live this beautiful life. Like, and in this delusion, she'd be talking to herself, which I think is like something you would have to say to get through this moment, right? You'd have to get through this moment in this way. And he's like, you know, promise to survive and don't give up. It's a beautiful message. It's a beautiful mental health message. I'm done. You guys are almost at the end. I see the ending of my notes, okay? What a beautiful message to not give up, no matter how hopeless. No matter how hopeless, okay? This moment is worth an Oscar, I would have to say. Sorry you didn't get it, Leo. I mean, it's so meaningful. It's one of my favorite stories about suicide. And I feel like the suicide part of it always gets buried under the love story, but it is at its core a mental health story. So you got all these heads bobbing, a sea of frozen dead people. You got all these guys, the guys that had to make the check sure, you know what I mean, to make sure that those people are not alive to rescue them. I don't want that job. I don't want it. I don't know what job that is. I don't want it. You see man with baby, you know what I mean, that died. Like, just horribly sad, horribly sad. They keep checking them. And then I don't know how she's like singing and whistling. She doesn't have a voice because it's so cold. Their vocal cords are so frozen. Mine too, apparently. And it's also breaking my heart. They died holding hands, okay? No, we're moving on, sorry. Absolute horror. And this is her Oscar moment. The boat's rowing away, right? So here you are, you're alive, right? You see your little last chance of safety. The light at the end of the tunnel, boop, 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 going away, going away, going away. Ah, you know what I mean? And then only one boat came back for all those people. One boat. The rest of them were like, they probably done. We're not coming. More boats could have come back. One boat came back. One boat came back. We gotta get our crap together as a society, okay? And there's part of me too that is like, I think if I was in Rose's situation, I just want to die staying there, right? Like, I'm like, at that point I see the boat, there's no hopes no more. You know what I mean? I'm not even taking my own message of this beautiful message of Jack where it's like, don't give up hope no matter what, okay? She doesn't have the voice, and she says, and then you have this really sad moment where she has to let go of his hand, right? Because she has to save herself. He said it. She prophesized it, right? She has to save herself. She has to let go of his hand. And even though she's letting go of his hand, she's like mentally saying, I'm never going to let go, right? But she lets it go. And he floats down, which I'm also like, how did he float down but everybody else is bobbing? Like, was everybody else in a life vest? Unclear, but whatever. It's a beautiful metaphor, whatever. You got to set it up for the second Titanic, right? She starts swimming in the cold when she's that weak. I question that on Mythbusters. They didn't prove that. but she takes the whistle out of a dead guy's mouth. Pooey. Okay, no thank you, but all right. And she blew as hard as she could. You know what I mean? She's blowing. Why whistle noise? I don't know how they heard it in the roaring of the ocean, but somehow they do. They come back. Horror story. She took all this time, this old lady. She took 2 hours and 30 minutes to tell us a 4-hour story. I think 1,500 maybe survived of the 200. Either 1,500 died of the 220, or the 2,200 that were on there. I think that is what survived. You could double check me. 20 boats, 1 came back, and 6 people were saved. Human cruelty, really be something. Take that with you. Because I've seen a crap ton of it. Bruh, they were burning flares. There have been so many times to join another boat. It didn't have to be this way. It did not have to be this way. But in disaster, it's sad that people get ugly. Although I will say for the Los Angeles fires, I do feel like people came together in a beautiful, beautiful way. So maybe LA is one place where that doesn't happen. But I don't know. I mean, we have politicians like, maybe even causing them. But anyway, we'll get a whole other thing. There'll be a story about that someday. Anyway, we see she joins another boat and we see Cal looking for her, right? But she hides away from him, which I think was the right choice to do. Was the right, don't go back, honey, right? Because she could have slipped back. But no, she's strong. She's strong enough to leave him. She's strong enough to survive the Titanic. She's strong enough to survive the Titanic. She can survive leaving her abusive relationship, okay? So good. So, anyway, she kind of, essentially buries her oneself, right? She gets rid of Rose in that she becomes Rose Dawson, right? She takes his last name. They're now married in that way. And she's standing in the rain. And it's beautifully romantic, right? I will legally recognize this marriage. And then she basically goes, I never spoke about it until now. Which is a little crazy, girl. You were going to be 101 and you were not going to tell your own... Why did you tell this boat of strangers this story and not your own family? If I was that grandma, I'd be yapping about that. I'd be like, when I was on the Titanic, I fell in love, and maybe it was a figment of my imagination, but I loved it, and I was kinky. You know what I mean? Like, what the... You waited until you were 101, like the day before you die, your granddaughter's there. Your daughter doesn't even get to hear it. Your granddaughter's going to have to tell it second. I don't even know if she got all the details. Good thing, I guess, they're recording. Like, what, lady? You were going to wait, and you never told that story before now? Are you kidding me, girl? What was it too painful? I don't understand. I don't understand, girly. But anyway, I don't know. And that's why I'm like, this is also why so much of me believes that Jack was a delusion, okay? That's why I really, truly believe that he was a delusion to her, right? Because why wouldn't she share? Why wouldn't she talk about it, right? If she wasn't afraid that he didn't exist in the first place. Mental illness will do that to you. All right? And even now when she says, he exists now only in my memory, right? I think it's a split, you guys. I think it's a split. That is my Titanic theory. That's my Titanic take, okay? Anyway, here we go to the part that is the stupidest part of the whole movie. She drops the heart of the ocean into the ocean. I mean, what? Like, you just wasted this guy's time. He's built his whole career over trying to find this little submarine guy, trying to find the heart of the ocean. And you're just like, F you, you know what I mean? Like, what? You don't even give it to your children? Like, lady, what are you doing? They're mentally, that's why she's got to be Delulu. She's got to be Delulu. I'm sorry, you guys. She's got to be Delulu. She talks about, all the stuff she did with Jack. Like, she rode horses like a man. She, really did go and live the life. And it's kind of crazy, too, because it's like, forget the husband. Her husband, whoever died, who's no longer with her, or may even be out there waiting for her, right? Alone, back in the United States, wherever she is on the ship right now. Like, forget that guy that she had her daughter and eventually, gets a granddaughter. Like, forget her husband that she married. She's only thinking about Jack in her ending moments. Like, imagine, right? Imagine. I hope that that's not me with my Canadian Jack. Like, I'm gonna literally throw myself off the ship if that be the case, you guys. I cannot handle that. You see all the people in heaven from the Titanic. It's giving Heather's alternative ending, okay? But it's crazy. Like, she's currently married to this other husband, you know what I mean? And she's thinking about making out with Jack. Like, girlie. She is, floating on to get other stuff. And she's thinking about Jack. And I kind of wonder, did she become, the way that she dies at the end, right? Could she have honestly lived longer, or was she like kind of, did this trauma, unbearing it, unpacking it, did it make her suicidal? Because that is like kind of a common thing when you share your story, right? You get all the emotions back out, and a lot of the times, like those emotions, she didn't talk about it for like 84 years. You know what I mean? 84 years. She didn't speak up about it. Like, that had to come with a lot of baggage. So I kind of wonder if the old lady, did not in fact die from old age, but, you know, kind of mentally lost it a little bit. But anyway, Cal, even though he didn't like technically shoot all the people, he's made to be a hero, and Jack is like the villain in this life. And it's just crazy too that this guy has a submarine and she threw the heart of the ocean in, and he doesn't go back with his little submachine and look for it one more time, right? In the same area. Like, 'cause she tosses it off the ship. It's right there. Like, he doesn't go and be like, I'm just gonna check one more time. Like, why doesn't she have it on? She said she had it on her. Like, what happened, right? But yeah, that is my review of the Titanic. Let me know what you guys thought. I don't know. I think I'm gonna end the live. Maybe I'll restart it. Traffic is not very good today. I don't know what I did. But yeah, that was the Titanic review. Let me know what you thought. Let me know the last call to share our thoughts and feelings about the Titanic. And then I'm going to end this, and then I'm going to save it to my lives, and I'm going to upload it on YouTube, so it will forever stay there. Like the blue diamond at the bottom of the ocean that could have been gotten back. Anyway, do you agree that Rose was Delulu? What do you think? And let me know. I know somebody suggested other movies. Yeah, we can do a lot. I have a lot of reviews already done that I want to get knocked out because they're taking up my storage, but my Brita filter is pretty out. Have you guys seen the Brita filter TikToks? They're like one of my favorite things. It's giving unhinged Duolingo. And I'm here for it, but I gotta return all the texts to maybe my potential Jacks. Give me a follow. Have a nice rest of your night. And never let go. And always believe in hope, right? Always believe in hope. And if you jump, I'll jump, guys. Goodbye forever.